All right. So we filmed an episode last week.
We sure did.
I got on the computer. I threw that thing on every possible program out there.
Allegedly.
I put it on iMovie, which we don't use. I put it on Adobe Premiere, which we do use. Mm-hmm. I tried DaVinci Resolve, which I don't use. Mm-hmm. And not a single one of these programs across 3 machines.
Mm-hmm. I blame Trump.
Thanks, Obama. Would let me cut the podcast. So we have an evergreen podcast, which was last week's episode. Nice, long, lengthy episode that you could watch while you're not being productive at work. But this week is a new week. It's a new beginning. We're recording on Easter. I swapped out my blue Easter colorful springtime shirt for a Conganas shirt.
Conganas.
Thanks for representing, bro. I appreciate you.
I put the black on the black.
You sure did.
For what I'm going to call this episode. And we'll see how it works. The Inner Voice Podcast.
Let's go.
The Inner Voice Podcast.
That's my favorite so far.
So, my name is Kelby. On the other camera is Sunil.
Hey, yo.
Off of the camera is founder, president, CEO,
El Presidente.
chief of border relations
That's false.
at Conganas
Conganas.
Media Entity. Young Balos.
What's going on? Thanks for the hype up. I appreciate it.
And this is the Inner Voice Podcast. All right, let's get to work. We have a lot of conversation that needs to happen. Okay, the very first one is how creepy are people for signing up to Bad Bunny's, sorry,
Not Bad Bunny.
Baby's.
Bad Bunny would have been all right. Bad Bunny deserves
Yo,
an
you're the one who,
OnlyFans.
you're the one who told me that a guy can't get you off.
Nah, he can't. But I do know. I got friends in the gay community that say Bad Bunny is that guy. Bad Bunny making $1 million in 6 hours.
Not
I got
Bad
no problems
Bunny,
with it.
but Baby.
Bad Baby, on the other hand.
So let's give everybody the full context.
All right.
But Baby goes.
She Russian. But baby.
She goes to the Dr. Phil show, a spinoff of Oprah. A spinoff of Maury. She goes to Dr. Phil and she says, I'm going to catch you outside.
Nah. She said,
bald
catch me
bastard."
outside. How about that?
Okay.
But for the layman, she said, catch me outside, you bald bastard.
Yeah, that's what she
How
did.
about that?
Thank you for listening, Middle America.
What wouldn't you like to do?
Okay. So she says that, hey, Dr. Phil, you're not going to be talking about me any kind of way. Catch me outside.
In these streets.
In that moment, she was like 13.
13, 14.
No, don't try to up her age.
Early pubescence.
So you don't seem like you're one of those.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I brought this topic up, by the way.
Right. She comes out with a couple of songs. A couple years later, she becomes her own entity. Somehow, some way, she's surpassed the meme and she's become an artiste.
Are they
Right.
good songs?
Still under.
She got 2 good songs that I kind of like.
Okay.
And a lot of drama. A lot of IGBs.
A lot of drama. She
Lot
used to
of
fight
IGBs.
Woe Vicky. She fought somebody else. She fights people.
lot of young white chicks
No problem with that. Okay. So now,
in ghetto accents.
I have not seen something from her in a bit. Now I do know her record, so I ain't hating. I know that she has the numbers on Snapchat. I know it. She's got the contract with Snapchat. I know it. I know how her virality
Virality.
is up there. I know. So I'm not taking
popular.
this away from her.
She's popular.
But she decides to turn 18.
She decides.
I don't think she decided to do that, bro. I think that was just
It was a choice.
life happening, bro.
She decided to turn 18.
She could have been 17,
She made the
but she
choice
made the choice to let the
step
government
up.
know I'm now 18.
That's how she identifies. Thank
Okay.
you. Okay, so she identifies as 18, and the first thing she does
Is
starts an OnlyFans account where she can show her body. Now, this is not the real subject that I want to bring to you. The real thing that I want to bring to you layman's is this. How do we know that she didn't take those pictures when she was 17?
That's facts.
because what happened, Kelby? Tell them what happened, Kelby. What has happened, Kelby? What happened that this is big news? Obviously, OnlyFans at the first point is something, but what had happened in the first 6 hours of her starting her
Listen.
OnlyFans?
I don't have a problem with that because, and I will explain. However, I don't have a problem with it because I've seen it before. I've seen the move. Okay.
Okay, it's
shout
only
out to
happened
you,
2 times.
Becky.
This is the second time it's happened.
I'm saying names on the
He's
podcast.
still asking for the refund.
Look,
Yo, relax.
this is the second time it's happened,
Relax.
to my knowledge. Am I wrong? This is the second time it's
Who
happened.
was the first?
Bella,
Thorne.
yes,
She made
the girl
2
from
million.
Disney,
She made $2 million.
right? And shut down the website.
Yeah.
Once again, another like barely legal.
Yeah, she was like 22. Right? She was like
Bro,
22.
I think so. Yeah. She was,
Okay,
she's real
but
nasty.
this
She was
is
older.
straight
She's real nasty.
17 to 18 started it $1 million in the first 6 hours,
Yeah.
and you said it was costing about what per month?
When I went to go check for research,
Go ahead.
because I knew I was going to talk about it on the podcast,
Yes.
I said, yeah, let me go do some research before I don't want to sound dumb.
Right.
It's like $24.99.
All right, so we talking
month.
A
about
month.
at least
And it don't come with
50,000.
HBO Max.
Hey, by
That's a
doing
fact.
hey,
That's a gym membership.
I am Asian, so I do math well.
Bree, you got that?
Oh no, that's a lot.
So
He's Asian.
I got it.
we talking about minimum 50,000 subscribers in the first 6 hours.
25 times 50,000?
I'm going to say, somebody asked me if this is weird. No,
That's
it's not.
$1,250,000.
Yeah,
She
she
made
made
about
$1
that.
million in the first 6 hours.
I'm going to say this. Redman asked me if this is weird. And the only thing about this that could be weird is when she took the photos. Okay? If
That's
she took
not
the
true.
No, but here's the thing, like people preying on children and stuff like that. I think it is foolish for you to say that only because Bhad Bhabie has been
Stop trying to make her Bad Bunny. She's not Bad Bunny. She's Bad Baby.
She's Russian.
She is not Bad Bunny.
But baby,
listen. But Baby has been showing her body in a way on social media as if she has no parents for the past 2 years. The moment that her body started forming, she's been showing it off. So what do you expect to happen when people got the stimmies? She turns 18, and the one thing that she was trying to show to everybody that she was limited in showing, now she can show. So no, it's not weird. People have been preying on this day. I remember the song where Mac Main said, when Miley Cyrus turns 18, I'ma smash that.
So you saying grooming is a part of American culture?
Yep.
Yeah.
it's been.
However, I'm not blaming the people. I'm blaming the girl. She put that energy out there.
Wow.
She did.
So you blaming the victim?
No, she's not a victim. She made $1 million. She's succeeding. She had a plan and it followed through. She followed
Was that
through with
her
the
plan?
plan. Yes. She's been showing her body off on Instagram for
But
years.
Who decided that?
Well, you gotta ask your maker. Why
So
do you like
blaming
what you
God?
like? Why do you like what you like?
Look, this is what I have to say
signed
about
up.
all of this.
You signed up.
Huh?
You signed up?
No.
Why
He
not?
pre-ordered.
Because first of all,
Who is in front of you on the line? Robert
I
Kelly?
know these so-called players wouldn't tell you this, but I'ma be real and say what's on my heart. All right.
Go ahead.
First of all, here's the problem with all of this.
Tell me.
I'm not Drake.
Oh my gosh. We're
So
going on
I'm
to the
not
next
gonna
topic.
groom a girl to where when she's 18, all of a sudden, now I'm gonna start making grown man moves. But all the time I've been grooming to get to this point. There's no reason.
When did Drake do that?
Look,
Don't
first
put
of
out
all,
allegations
Georgia.
like that.
But first of all,
She's 20 something.
Bobby Brown's wife. So first, Bobby Brown's daughter. So first
She's
of all,
been dead.
Bobby Brown's daughter.
Yes.
Talking about Millie.
No, Millie Bobby, the
Yeah.
white girl. That's not Bobby Brown's daughter.
That's not at all. It's
That
a
is
joke.
not-
That's what people call a joke.
But that's what he's talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay, I
And
thought
she
you
was
said it
16,
seriously.
17.
You
Don't
said it
say Bobby
seriously.
Brown's daughter. Say Millie Bobby.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
Millie Rockin' Brown.
So
But at the same
Honest-
time,
honest
you're
pro-
wrong.
okay, but regardless,
We don't talk
there's
about
no
Aubrey
reason why a
like
girl
this in this
that
house.
turns 18
Speaking of
goes live with their OnlyFans and has a following that has 50,000 followers that are willing to pay $25 a month.
Do you know America?
or the
I do,
world.
but I think this is a problem. This is a problem that we need to address because
What's the problem? Tell me the problem.
grooming is a problem.
Okay, what is grooming?
Over
Explain it to me.
sexualizing younger individuals. Sex is too big of a what's it called?
Draw.
No, it is too big of it is too out there for it to be a problem. Like, so this is why I'm bringing this up.
Speaking to
I
the
just
mic.
had
Speaking to the mic.
I think
Speaking to the front, like this.
I have to be close.
No,
Oh, like lift it up.
tip it. Remember, talk to the
Yeah,
to the
front of the
brand.
mic. Yeah.
Talk
I
to the
thought we
name.
did the mic check.
There you go. This is it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. So I just went to dinner with my niece.
How old
She's
is she?
17, 18, going to UCLA freshman.
She can't be both.
Okay, huh?
Is she just going
Around 17, turn 18.
regular or collegiate?
She's a collegiate.
can't be both.
It's her freshman year.
You're already lying.
No. She just goes to school there.
I know she's
Alright,
even your
so
niece,
she's
sir.
18, maybe 17.
Look at him. Look.
She's 17, maybe 18. I don't know.
Okay. Luckily, we're
Around the
not in
same age
Alabama.
as Bhad Bhabie.
Okay,
as you like to
bye-bye.
call her.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I look at her and I say she's a regular girl that if anybody was trying to over sexualize her, we would have some problems. Because at the end of the day, that is my niece, and I love her in a way that I'm protective. I want her to live her life, but if there's a grown man my age that's trying to be predatory towards her, she would have a defense all the way already written into her lifestyle that is like, she could call on me and it would not be any issues other than my guy, you are gonna have problems. Now,
Okay.
now Bhad Bhabie is the same age as my niece.
Okay. Fresh 18.
So the fact that
I like
she
that you
is
said that.
in a position where she can make $1 million off of, and I haven't seen any of the content. I don't know if she's all the way naked, if she's just taking pictures in lingerie, or if she's fully clothed. I have no idea what these pictures, if there's pictures, videos, I have no idea. But the fact that an 18-year-old girl could get $1 million, make $1 million within 6 hours, whatever she's posting, is insane. This isn't sponsors.
Listen. I'm gonna let you say something real quick. Hold on one second.
So you're okay with this?
Listen. How old are you when you're an adult?
18.
Well, that's it.
Okay.
Oh, that's it. She's an adult. She can vote. She can get student
She
loans.
could go to war.
She can go to war. She can't buy a cigarette. She can't buy alcohol.
She can
but
buy
she's
cigarette.
not. She's not. You have to be 21.
You could be 21 to buy cigarettes?
Yes.
Since when?
Like a year ago.
Oh.
So my point is, what she's doing is on her behalf. Now, if a year later we find out that Robert Kelly's been telling her to post these pictures on Instagram to get the boys ready, that's a different story. But from this situation, there is no grooming. All we're seeing is her capitalizing on what she was posting years ago, which she was grooming the people, preparing them for when she's legal for her to do what she does with
I
that.
think you're setting a dangerous precedent. Because the fact is, you don't know. You don't know whether she's posting this on her own or whether her team is telling her to post this stuff.
We don't know that. That's a fact. However, social media.
By the way, this is Bree.
This is me. Yeah. Hi. Okay. social media has a big influence, especially on children. We forget that these are kids.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. They are kids at the end of the day, but they have so much access to the internet. It's sick. So it's like, even like to the point where BBLs, they don't, like, kids don't even know that BBLs are the number one reason of cause of death. Not
What's
number
a BBL?
one. Brazilian butt lift.
Oh.
Exactly. Like, it's the highest rating of, like, death, but like they'll keep getting it, because it's like they'll look like.
And by the way, Bree is in the medical industry, so she's just not speaking out of her ass. She's speaking from facts.
Okay, I am. No, yeah, you're right. It is. It's the number one, like, cosmetic surgery of,
So Bree, you being a female,
yeah,
and this probably touches you deeper than it would touch, me, a male, I would say, in general. Like, for me, if it's family, it's different, but I'm sure you've dealt with the same pressures that, other beautiful women that are dealing with this stuff. But I'm saying, like, do you think that a bad baby is out here realizing she can make money off of her body on her own? Or do you think that this is a concerted effort from outside influences that are letting her know that this is what can happen?
It's like,
because her record deal isn't from teenage kids.
No, honestly, it's like
those music videos weren't shot by teenage kids.
Right, exactly, that part right there. So here's the thing: it's like it's a part of, like, it's high key. It sucks. Like,
it's grooming.
It's contradictory because it's genius, but at the same time, it's like, it's sad. It's genius because we all want money and fame, right? Blah, 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 whatever. But it's sad because she's a child and she doesn't know no better. She doesn't know what's really happening. Like, we know what's happening. We're talking about it. We know what's really happening. But to her, it's like all the kids want, and I've worked with a group of kids personally. Kids are lazy. Kids see Instagram and they're like, oh, if I do this on TikTok, I'm going to get famous or whatever, Like, it is what it is. So, like, for her to be like, catch me outside, how about that? Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, capitalize, make a t-shirt, make this. By the time you hit 18, you could do this, you could do OnlyFans. Sit down. You got a little wagon. You're dragging a little bit of a wagon. You got some, like, cut it out. Like, and then people really don't care. Like, you've been
But
relevant.
See, that's my issue. So the Cash Me Outside moment was all her, like, that wasn't staged.
No, it wasn't.
That was just natural. But to make it a shirt, that wasn't her. To say that, hey, we can make this moment viral. We can make this business with somebody else.
You know that because she's like, catch me outside about that. And, like, she was passionate about that. She was passionate about it until people made it a thing. Then it was like, oh, okay. Like maybe this could be something. Like, maybe this could really be something.
And then her turning into whatever.
It being viral.
Yes.
That's, everybody wants to go viral. Not everybody knows who I am. Cash me outside. Yeah. And then you're going to go harder. Yeah, cash me outside. How about that? Like, with her, and she had some kind of beef with some other girl, whatever. And it's like, okay, so I'm going to capitalize off of this. Then it's about money at this point because you're getting money from somebody.
But that's what I'm saying. So when I say, when I say this is grooming, and Kelby says, no, this is just somebody capitalizing off of what, I don't think this is her making all of these moves.
You want to know what it was? Who was sitting next to her when she was saying "Cash me outside"?
Her mom.
Exactly.
But and maybe it's her mom. Maybe it's her management team.
Who's been broke since forever, probably.
I think
who's been struggling with a teenage daughter and went on Dr. Phil and realized
honestly,
that
I don't
this
think
could be something.
Their family has been broke for a while. I think ever since Dr. Phil, they've been good.
Oh,
But what I'm saying is there's a big leap between being a rap star and twerking on camera and all this kind of stuff to OnlyFans.
I love the kids, but the kids will make something out of nothing. Like, regardless of what she does, she was on something. She's something like, oh, catch me outside about that. Like, everybody's saying it or whatever. And it's like, now you're this. Now you got grown people looking at you. Now
That's
the
the
kids,
thing.
the kids gonna take your little rapping thing. You tried to rap, you try to do whatever you try to do. The kids might take it, but we know you as this. So like you're extremely relevant. Now you're relevant in our kids' lives.
She ain't making $1 million in 6 hours off of rapping.
Here's the thing: you're relevant in the kids' lives, and we know you from here. So you're floating, and then if you meet other people that we know. Now you're bringing yourself up, and like you're touching different levels. So it's like, and it sucks. Like you're just a child, So now that you're 18, and now that we know you from Catch Me Outside, we've been watching you because the kids been watching you. Like millions of people got kids.
So here's my question, and Kelby, maybe you can answer this. Here's my question. So do these social media sites, whether it be OnlyFans, whether it be Twitter, whether it be Instagram, have any kind of liability towards creating an environment where pedophilia can happen?
Sure. I mean, there's categories called barely legal.
Right.
Okay. But here's the thing. Here's my point. What age is appropriate for her to do this?
In my opinion,
yeah,
I don't think it's appropriate until it is actually her making the decision. And what I mean by that is, like, I think in my eyes, I think that it's fine. I mean, I don't ever think it's fine, but I don't think that it's her making this choice. I think that it's her team making this choice. I don't think you should be able to be on OnlyFans until you're 21 and over.
Oh, okay. I am not here to uncheck check marks.
What's that mean?
What that means is, are you legal? Check, you are. Are you a woman? Check, you are. Are you allowed to do whatever you want to do with your own body? Check, you are. Okay, I have nothing to say about it. That's where I am.
Okay, but then at the other end of the thing, then we can't get mad at certain aspects of certain predatory behaviors then, right? We can't get mad at a 30, 40-year-old that's dating an 18-year-old.
Look, Marcus Houston just got married to an 18-year-old.
Right.
Okay? He just got married to a teenager.
By the way, Marcus Houston makes some great-ass music.
Of course.
Down at church. Okay?
Him, Immature, IMX, him and Sister was amazing.
Okay? And he got some flack for that. However, who's going to do what about it? You can't. Legal is legal. It's the same thing as minimum wage, and people saying you have to pay me more than minimum wage. Says who? The government says you got to pay me minimum wage, and they can get away with paying minimum wage.
I agree.
So if you're 18 and the government says at 18 you can take pictures of yourself and post it on the internet, and we're not gonna have a problem with it. All you got to do is give us some of the money for taxes, then pay it. That's it. Well, I'm not gonna be upset. I don't want to look at it only because I don't know when you took these pictures. So I'll wait a couple years until I figure it out on how.
I don't think legality is equal to morality.
It doesn't, but that's a personal thing.
True.
Because
I'm coming out and saying that 18, if you paying $24.99, $25 to see 18-year-old scantedly or naked or whatever Bhad Bhabie is, you a creep.
And how old would be the max age?
If you don't have a teen in your name, in your age, you are a creep.
So a 20-year-old?
Yeah, that's nasty.
No.
20 and an 18-year-old?
Yes.
No.
If you paying money, maybe 20, but I think
just gonna grab the mic.
Yeah, go ahead and do it. But in my mind, if you paying for an 18-year-old to be out, you're paying, not dating, not like.
You don't know what this 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, or 23-year-old is going through.
Sure.
Sometimes 23-year-olds are virgins. 23 to 18 is fine. 24, 25, 26, 27. Now we're reaching 28, 29, 30. Whoa there. What are you doing at 30 with an 18-year-old? Wow.
But we're not talking about with them. We're talking about paying.
Watching. To pay to watch.
Yes.
Once you hit 20, I feel like once you're 25, why are you paying to watch an 18-year-old? Yes. However, your business. If you're attracted to her, that's your business.
It's legal.
30, that's your business.
We're not talking about legality because you could pay for it at any. You could be 70 and pay for an 18-year-old if you want. Legally, you're in the clear. I'm talking about just, for me, you getting you nasty when you are not a teen and you still do. If you're not in the same,
18, what if you're 18? What's 18 and 23?
That means you out of college and she's still a freshman in college.
Key. But they're in love, and she's.
Yo, what's love got to do with this? What Ja Rule told me.
Okay.
That doesn't make any sense because a 30-year-old can marry a 24-year-old without.
You
a problem.
could do whatever you want.
Let me ask you this: is it nasty for a 30-year-old to marry a 24-year-old?
No.
Okay.
But there's a big difference between a 24-year-old and an 18-year-old.
Now your age is.
I'm not talking about the difference. I'm not talking about the age difference. I'm talking about the mental development. There's a difference between an 18-year-old and a 24-year-old. I don't think that a 24-year-old and a 30-year-old is a big difference. I think an 18-year-old and a, let's say that's 6 years, so a 18-year-old and a 24-year-old is a different being. A 24-year-old isn't mature enough to understand what they're doing. An 18-year-old isn't mature enough to know what they're doing. I think a 30-year-old and a 24-year-old are mature enough to understand what they're doing.
Okay,
especially
now what if it's a
24-year-old female and a 30-year-old male, because females mature at a different level than males do.
What if it's a gay couple?
I think it's the same.
It's the same thing.
Choice is choice. At the end of the day, everything is cool as far as it's your choice. Legality is legality. I'm saying it isn't a healthy behavior for an 18-year-old and a 24-year-old, 25-year-old to be paying for an 18-year-old to be showing them whatever on OnlyFans.
They already do it on porn.
But here's the problem.
They're gonna type in
here's
barely
the problem,
legal.
Kelvin.
They're gonna type in fresh 18,
sure,
fresh.
but
you know, it is what it is.
But just because it is happening doesn't necessarily mean it's all right. We could go back 100 years. What was happening 100 years ago, as far as stuff that people were like, well, it happens, doesn't make it right.
Okay, but let me put it to you like this. One of my friend's parents are 20 years apart.
Okay.
Nobody had a problem with that.
Sure, but times have changed.
They're still together.
Great, but that doesn't necessarily mean that, like, so here's what I think is the worst argument in the world. It's always been like that.
Okay.
Because you could say that we would still be in slavery if we went with that argument.
See, we always go there.
would still be but we would still be in women don't have the right to vote. We would still be in that
But nobody here is being oppressed.
But we're not talking about
difference.
oppression. We're not talking about oppression.
And also,
we're talking about the argument that it's always been like that. I'm not talking about oppression. I'm not talking about racism. I'm using the argument that it's always been like that as a reason to argue for whatever you're trying to say.
Okay, fine. 18 now, you cannot vote, you cannot drink, you cannot OnlyFans, you can't do anything.
I'm not saying that 18 is wrong for going out there and posting nude pictures of you. What I'm saying is if you're a 30-year-old and purchasing those pictures, you nasty. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
It's not
so this
a
is
legal
the judgment
issue.
podcast.
This is a judgment. We are judging. If you are there was 50,000 people that went out and purchased Bhad Babie's OnlyFans. If you are over the age of 20 and you purchase that, in my eyes, you are nasty. And that's all I gotta say.
So Chris,
and the fact that Kelby was one of them is why he's defending this hard.
I didn't buy it, but I also am.
Did research.
I'm open to people doing whatever they want. If it ain't illegal, I don't mind.
That too.
Now, Chris, as a person who bought the subscription,
Go ahead. Who? Because it wasn't me. You think?
as a person who split the subscription with 6 other people.
Yeah. Sure.
What did you see on there?
I wouldn't know because again, I didn't purchase it.
He's not gonna admit it. He might have started the Reddit.
Listen, I don't like.
Did she go all the way nude on it or what? I don't know.
I didn't see it.
I don't know what she posted on there.
But I'm not a judgmental person. I'm not gonna judge you if you're 30 and you said, "Well, let me go see it." Because chances are you've probably watched some kind of pornographic material where the person was either 18 or slightly under 18, and Now, am I condoning pedophilia? No. But if they are of legal age, everybody's legal, everybody's consenting to what they're doing. She put the pictures out herself for everyone to buy, and you bought it. That's between you and God. Me judging you ain't got nothing to do with it.
I have a hard time believing she put these out on her own.
Well, that's conspiracy.
I think that she is highly, highly managed.
Well,
There isn't. This is a rollout. This is a rollout in the sense that this is the next step of her career. This is a way to get the bag. I don't think this was just like, hey, I'm going to go out and be on OnlyFans. This was her management team, her agent. This was of age people deciding this. Like Bree said, maybe her mother. I don't believe that an 18-year-old girl with the right support system is going out the way that she's going.
Yeah, a broke one would. A broke one who made a lot of money really quick.
Though.
Hold up. A broke one who made a lot of money really quickly, paid off her mama's house, and then hasn't had a hit song in 4 years. Yeah, she might start doing some things. I'm not saying she's big broke, but I'm saying she may not see the money that she saw when she was red hot fire and she was putting out music everybody was listening to. She may just be like, oh, snap, this phase of my career is no longer here. So I need to try something else. And guess what everybody's doing? Guess what? Beyonce just won a Grammy for promoting OnlyFans. So what do you think? Culturally, all these young girls are going to do that because all the older people are saying, get an OnlyFans.
So then I have a problem with the culture.
Well, then there you go.
So I have a problem with the culture, and I've never blamed Bhad Bhabie in the sense that I don't think this was her. I think it's society.
You think she's drugged?
No, I think that it is, like you said, culture. Everybody has to play a role because we are over-sexualizing our youth, and it is causing them. We are lowering the bar to a point where the repercussions are going to keep being nastier and nastier, and I just think that it's a problem. Like we need as a society need to get our moral strength at a higher level than what it is right now.
Listen, man, not everybody's gonna be on the same page.
Of course, that's why we could argue about it. I don't expect everybody to be on the same page as me, but that doesn't mean that you're wrong, because if you are on the other page as me on this, you are wrong.
No, I'm right.
If you think that it's okay to be just because they're at a certain age, no. If my 18-year-old niece was out there on OnlyFans doing what she is, me and her are gonna have a conversation.
Okay, why don't you have the conversation with the culture then?
That's exactly what I'm doing right now, Kelvin. I'm having a conversation with the culture, saying I think the culture is wrong. I think that we need to have innocence in our youth longer than we're giving them the opportunity to be innocent.
Okay, let me give my real opinion. Yes, I think that everyone being this practical porn star, that's not great for our people as a nation, right? It's not. However, I do also believe in everybody's right to do whatever they want.
Sure.
So I believe in that. So as I was speaking to one of my friends, won't say her name because I like her, like as a friend, but she has an OnlyFans and she's very public about it, and she's an adult, like she's in her 30s. She has an OnlyFans. She doesn't mind posting on Facebook where her family resides. She doesn't mind sharing the stuff, where of course the average person would not want to share that with people that they're close to, right? But even in that sense, seeing somebody that who makes their money by revealing their body on the internet is kind of weird. It's kind of weird just knowing this person and just being like, okay, if I pay $4, I can see you naked, right? So I think you ultimately have to pick a side. Do you want people to be able to do whatever they want and they shall be judged by man above? Or, hey, these are my thoughts on society. We all got to fit into this. Man and woman have to sleep in 2 beds like it used to be in the 50s. You have to pick a side. For me, I know that my judgment doesn't lock anybody out of heaven. So do as you please. But the repercussions come from the one upstairs. And if you don't believe in him, that's on you. If you do, that's on you. That's where I am.
I agree. At the end of the day, like, I'm speaking to what I think is morally right or wrong. Do I think legally it's right or wrong? I don't think that Bhad Bhabie it should be illegal for her. If she's 18 and that's legal, let her do whatever she wants to do.
But
I think that it is going to be a long-term problem as far as her development to be able to do this. And I think that it's sad that she could make more money off of what she's doing on OnlyFans than she could do off of making music, off of being an actress.
She's a talented musician.
I mean, at the end of the day, she's talented enough to get into the public eye, talented enough to become famous, pretty enough to be able to be somebody who people are interested in. You would think that those type of talents could get her to a place where she could be financially in a place where she didn't have to go out and do whatever she's doing on OnlyFans to become a millionaire. I think that if we're setting the bar, and not to say that there's anything wrong with it, because at the end of the day, there is a lot of people that are willing to pay money, and I'm all for capitalism. Do whatever you need to do to make money. So I'm a capitalist by nature. I have nothing wrong with it. I think it's sad that we haven't developed enough skills as far as a society to have a talent like Bhad Bhabie be able to make a living without having to do what she needs to do on OnlyFans.
Well, what you're saying doesn't only require Bhad Bhabie. And we're going to wrap this up because we're going to move on. But it doesn't... to make music, it does not only require her making it for her to be successful. It has to be consumed by the people. And if the people say, I don't want to hear this anymore, she's got to figure something else out. I don't want to see Bhad Bhabie working at 7-Eleven. Somebody who has that opportunity, she's going to figure out some kind of way where she's not the average person. She's not going to make the average decisions. Sure. So, again, this is a moment in time where everybody's pushing this narrative, this OnlyFans thing, right? It'll die just like everything else dies. Before, several years ago, I knew a lot of people who did porn, and then that kind of just fell off. Like, porn doesn't not exist anymore, but it's just not.
But it's switched into OnlyFans.
Sure,
these porn stars are now making more money, and I'm not mad at them for it because they're making more money.
The consumer.
Because at the end of the day, what OnlyFans did was give these people that want to sell sex, I guess, give them more control over their content versus if they were going to do it through a studio or through a website or whatever it is. So these porn stars are actually making more money off of OnlyFans than they are, and I'm all for that.
Listen,
and
man, prostitution revolutionized the West.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that I don't think it's bad for society morally that this is the case. That's all I'm saying. I'm so for it. I don't think we should change anything in the sense that their ability to be able to do it. What I would like is us as a society to morally give them more options, or whether it be like, hey, maybe it means that, hey, I don't want to be a millionaire. I could make $100,000 a year doing something that doesn't revolve around me having sex with this person or me being naked on camera or whatever it is. I could do this based off of my skill set.
But she has that opportunity.
Great.
She just doesn't want to take it. We got to stop saying, oh, we need to give more opportunity. There's every opportunity in the world in this country. There's just every opportunity. If she wanted to go to college, she could. I knew a girl who did OnlyFans 3 years ago, but it was a different website. Same idea, but different website. She did it for like 6 months, and then she was just like, nah, I'm kind of done with this. She went to college.
Great. Like Mia Khalifa, right? She made a bunch of money off of being a porn star, and now she's not a porn star. And she's created a career off of not being a porn star now.
Right.
Sasha Grey, like all these people.
Why you know how they know you?
Because I've seen this whole revolution of former porn stars growing into other careers, talking about how that like they regretted their porn star years and are able to use their talent for other.
Well, guess what?
What?
They would have never been able to get the opportunities that they had if they weren't busting it wide open.
You might be right.
Because they're not that talented and they're not that interested in putting effort into something else.
Okay. I don't know that. All I know is you take the route that was given to you. And at that point, that's what they felt that was given to you. And that was given to you based on the society we live in. And at the end of the day,
we have a bunch of Kim Kardashians walking around.
Porn. Yeah. I'm saying Kim Kardashian is probably one of the most wealthy and famous women on the planet. And she was nothing until she had a sex tape come out with Ray J.
There you go.
And at the end of the day,
and her formula still works.
And you don't blame Kim. You don't blame Ray J. You blame us. Because us as consumers allowed her to build that. And so at the end of the day, I'm not talking about reality. I'm talking about what I would like. Morality. I'm talking about what I would like. I'm talking about morality as far as my morality and what I would like to happen. I would love for there to be these talented, beautiful women not feel like OnlyFans is their opportunity.
All right. Chris, you got anything else?
Continue. I'm ready. Next topic.
All right. What's next?
I got a lot.
Tell me.
So, it's wedding season right now, or you want to go more pop culture?
Hand it to me. I'm always
ready. So let me go wedding culture right now. So a lot of people are getting married in the next few months.
Really sweet.
It might be because COVID restrictions are starting to alleviate a little bit.
Okay.
But my question was, so I was listening to something, and then I was also thinking based off of that conversation about my own life. So first, my question is, have you ever been invited to a wedding where you have smashed I know you're straight, so you have smashed the bride?
I'm a virgin.
Have you ever been to a wedding?
That's it for the Invoice Podcast.
Where you have been intimate with the bride, and this could be with the groom as well. Have you ever?
Have I ever been invited to a wedding where I have dated as gentleman and woman, even for several hours?
We promise never to lie to each other. Okay?
Yeah. Yes or no?
Yeah, and I charged for it because I shot the wedding.
Okay. So for me, I've never been in a situation where that has happened, but it did make me curious as far as how that situation would pan out. Because,
oh yeah, okay.
You being a virgin, maybe it's not the same situation.
Yeah, it's not.
But my first question is, would you
yo, Chris, what are you laughing at?
That you dumb as hell. That's what
so
I'm
let's
laughing.
just. So my question is, would you feel comfortable? And Chris, this is for you too. Would you feel comfortable going to a wedding, being invited to a wedding that you have smashed the bride at?
Of course.
And would it matter if you were invited by the bride or the groom? That's the first question.
Oh, that's interesting. What if you're friends with the partner? Or not friends, but they know you.
So if you were invited by the bride, let's say that.
So do they both know or they don't know?
I would assume they have to know at this point, right?
Yeah, they gotta know. No?
Because if they don't know, I think that makes it more awkward.
Sometimes they don't know. I'll
Okay.
just leave it at that.
All right.
Okay, so what is the etiquette?
You chilling, man.
No, but should the bride / groom, whatever it is, invite somebody that they have had intimate relations with to a wedding?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If they care about this person,
why not? Yeah.
And it's cool. Now, if you guys why would
Do
you
you have
invite
to check
somebody
that with the?
No, I mean, look, whatever you guys have in your relationship, fine. But if y'all cool, if it's old news and it's just not a part of what y'all are doing that in that day and age,
right?
And this person is important enough to you to walk in your wedding and be invited to your wedding, then it's fine. But if it's somebody that you still have some weird thing and you're like, oh, maybe we have one more go in us, then no, don't invite them. Like, you're done. You're done it being in that lane. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like at the end of the day, if you're getting married, you're an adult. Okay. Unless unless you're a part of those weird cultures. But if you're
back to our original conversation of OnlyFans.
So if you are an adult and you are making the adult decision to get married, and then you're making the adult decision to invite somebody who you were once intimate with, but they mean that much to you that you want them there for you, then I would assume that everything is fine.
Yeah, just go. But that's not the question. The question is it awkward for you as the guest?
No.
Why
would it be awkward?
I would agree. Why would it be awkward?
So here's my second follow-up question.
Am I in love with this person?
Be more upset.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Go ahead.
So say I'm the groom.
Okay.
My wife tells me, or my future, like my fiance at this time, tells me she's inviting an ex-boyfriend.
Okay. Do you know this ex-boyfriend? Are you familiar with who they are?
Nah.
All right, well then he can't come.
Why is that different?
Because the thing is, if you are cool with person that you are inviting to your wedding, your mate most likely is aware of who that person is. Even if they haven't met them, like let's say it's like somebody from your past, like in a different location geographically, and you don't see them all the time, but they're important to you. I'm sure that you may have gotten on a video call once and been like, oh, yeah, this is my boyfriend. This is my girlfriend, something like that. But if they don't know the person, like the boyfriend or the girlfriend has never heard you talk about this person once in X amount of time that you guys been together, then all of a sudden you want to bring them to the wedding, but you've never mentioned them ever, that's a different situation.
Why is that different?
And then you fighting saying that I care about this person's important to me.
Yeah.
If they were important to you, how come you didn't bring them up before?
Why is that different?
We just explained it.
No, but at the end of the day, the results are the same.
No, it's not.
Why?
Because you didn't put forth the same energy as before. Like if you really fly
What
with
if it didn't
somebody,
come up?
no, it's gonna come up.
Why? How would it come up?
As a couple getting married,
Chris,
gotta go over the
you've been
guest
with your
list.
girl for how long?
A long time.
Don't bring
Okay.
April into this.
So
Yeah,
you just said her name. I was just
May.
saying his girlfriend. So anyways, like
Autumn.
June.
spring, summer.
Yeah, my girl
so-
December.
That's a fly name.
So at what point in your relationship did you bring up the girls you smashed in your past?
Oh, come on.
That's a tough question.
Oh boy.
That didn't come up.
Okay. And you've been together for how long?
12 years.
So, how many people? Wait. Don't cut me off yet, Kelby,
Here we go.
because this point is making
Nope,
sense.
it's not, because Sabalos is only telling you one half of the reason why.
But my point is, I think that Sabalos and his girl are in a healthy relationship.
Hold on one second.
Wait. Can I finish?
Sabalos, please tell him the rest of it.
I've been with my girlfriend since high school. She's been pretty much my first official girlfriend. So
Okay,
I
but
haven't
that-
smashed anybody before that.
Okay, but does that take
there
into
is none of that other
consideration
stuff.
the fact? I don't want to ask this question, but in my head, I'm thinking that doesn't necessarily mean that's the only person you've ever been intimate with.
That is the only person I've ever been intimate
See,
with.
Okay.
that's why I'm saying, like,
It's different. I'm
Okay.
I'm an old man
So-
when it comes to that kind of thing.
Let me tell my story then, I guess.
Yeah, you got your own evidence
Right?
there.
Because it's not just one in my instance.
yeah, I remember you giving me
And
advice.
in my world, I wouldn't having a conversation about who I've slept with in the past is not something that comes up in a conversation with who I'm with right now. I don't ask about hers. She doesn't ask about mine. It just doesn't happen because in my world, or at least in how I like, it's just a known fact that everybody's doing whatever they are. If whatever's happened before we've met shouldn't affect what we're doing in the future.
Cool. Now let me ask you this: how many of the people from your past that you don't mention to your current girl that you still hang out with, and that are important to you, and someone that you say, I think they should come to my wedding?
In my world,
Yeah.
settle. But I don't think that I'm
There you
normal.
go. There you go.
Is that normal?
Yes. You're not.
I don't
like,
think that's normal.
What do you mean?
I don't think I think that there is a I've at least I don't know if it's normal. Let me just say that. I think that there is a realm of society that stays friends after they've dated.
Sure, I have a friend that I've dated.
But I'm talking about being intimate with.
Oh yeah, I'm a friend.
Yeah. No, I mean,
What you mean, yeah?
in your inner voice,
Yeah.
you smash this person and you still talk to them.
I don't know. What
You know, and
We
not
can't have this.
hiding
We
from
can't have
God's
this
eyes.
conversation with Kelby because he is fake as fuck when it comes to
Listen here.
sexuality and stuff like that.
Kelvin,
But
What I'm saying is-
so,
Saint
okay,
Joseph.
so do you feel? So Kelby, let me ask you this question: Do you feel like it's a possibility to be friends with somebody that you have sex with in the past?
Yeah.
yes,
For sure.
Close friends.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so if that is a situation and you are now in a different relationship and now this relationship is moving to marriage and forever, you think that this conversation between this is my friend, but this friend we've actually had sexual relations with has to been had before they're invited to the wedding.
Okay. Let's take
That's
a
a good
step
point. That's a good
back.
question.
You know how I said I went to the wedding, blah blah blah, they blah, blah, all this
But you
stuff.
got paid
One of
to
them
go.
did not know.
Yes.
But you
I'm
just been slobbing
pretty
them.
sure.
You just been slobbing on the knob,
Listen,
like
listen,
corn
listen,
on
listen.
a cob.
Hey, relax,
Check it
Megan
with me.
Mees.
And do your
Relax,
job.
Megan Mees. All right. One of them for sure did not know.
Okay.
Based on the action of the guy.
I'm gonna assume it was the groom who didn't know.
Yeah, the groom did not. I'm guessing.
Right,
There was
right, you don't
no
know.
tension where it was just like, right? It was just more like, oh, hey, what's up, man? Nice to meet you. I've heard so much about you. Okay. Once I assess the
That's what
situation,
he said to you, or that's what you said to him?
No. He was like, I've heard a lot about you. Like, you're my girl's friend. Like all this stuff, and I am her friend.
How
like,
did he squeeze your hand?
nah, he's a cool dude.
How did he squeeze your hand,
punched
Kelby?
him.
Look.
Was it extra force or was it just like a dab?
No. He was like legit, like, oh, what's up, bro? Like, nice to meet you.
Okay.
And then that's when I sat around there and I looked at her dad, who knows who I am. And the dad was
He
just
knows
like,
the real.
Yeah. The dad and the mom were just like, what's up, man? You know?
What were the
But-
eyebrows doing?
No, they was like cool, but you know what's crazy? At that exact wedding, the dad pulled me to the side. He said something crazy. He was like, I always thought it would have been you.
What ethnicity are
That's
these
the
people?
wedding. I remember what
Is
you
it
said.
Haitian?
No, they're not Haitian.
Okay.
But see, your situation is a little different.
Why?
Because you got paid to go.
I got paid to go. Yeah.
This wasn't
So
like
you
She
weren't-
asked me
you
to
weren't
do
on
it
the
as a
bride's side.
friend.
Yeah, but you
right,
was
but
you
she
was
didn't say,
hired
you know
help.
what, Kelby, I care about you so much. I need
Okay,
you to
I'll
come
tell you
to the
exactly
wedding as a
how
guest.
that happened.
You know what I mean?
She called me and she was like, I want to invite you to my wedding. However, I want to support your business.
Okay.
That's what she said.
I think
She
that's
said,
worse.
I want to support your business.
That's not only I want you, I
Charge
want to
me-
pay you to be there.
Nah, but you know what? Her husband makes good money. So I
I'm
charge.
gonna use my husband's money to pay you,
That's a
who
fact.
has smashed
I never
me in
did.
the past.
I never did. But
So this is not
I'm
the
a
same
virgin.
conversation.
I'm a virgin.
Kelby, you are not. Look,
Okay.
you are taking an innocent situation
Yeah, sure.
and trying to correlate it to some. I am
No,
talking
but
about
listen.
this is a sexual relationship that this bride and this someone in the the wedding has had.
I want to.
It don't matter.
Hold on. Bree.
She's sleeping.
Damn.
That was quick.
I wanted to ask her a question, like a part of this question, but
I don't think you could have an opinion on this because you're a virgin.
Yep.
So you cannot understand.
That's a fact.
So let me ask you. Let me ask you in this way.
yeah,
You're getting married to a girl.
yeah.
She is inviting a person that she is.
You never let me finish my point.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. She may not have explained to the guy who I am and what I did
What have you done?
with her. Okay?
You kissed her on the cheek.
I'm talking about having memories. Okay?
Alright.
Talking memories.
You
Chris.
trying to make
Uh,
this?
Chris?
Memories are between
So
me
I'm
and
pretty
God.
sure they never had that conversation. However,
We made the burrito together. We've never eaten a burrito though.
The ultimate thing about this is that I was there. That I got invited and she told him about me in some capacity.
But not the truth.
So It may not have been the truth, but he's aware of me. So to answer his question about what if I've never heard of this person and then all of a sudden he's so important he needs to come to the wedding? No. When you get there and you shake my hand, I need to be able to say, I've heard so much about you. I may not know everything.
And you know why? Because when you're at a wedding, and this isn't all weddings, but most of them that we've been to, because Kevin and I have worked a lot of weddings, you got to go table to table meeting these people. And if I come up to you and say, hey, who the hell are you?
Yeah.
That's not right.
Yes. Yeah. It cannot be that way. So that was my response to your point of what if she's
Both
just, yo, we've been together for 3 years and you've never brought this person
both
up.
y'all are licking around the asshole and not licking the asshole at this conversation right now.
Well, that's where the tickle
So
spot is.
let Chris, I'm asking you a direct question right now.
Ask me.
All right? And I think obviously this is going to be hypothetical because this is not your situation.
Correct.
So you and your girl have been together for a long time, so you guys probably know everything about each other.
Correct.
But let's say that it wasn't that type of situation and you guys are just a normal situation where like maybe you've been dating for like 3 or 4 years later on in your life and you don't know everything about her past. Mm-hmm. She doesn't know everything about your past because why are you talking about who you slept with at 18 when you guys are...
Right.
Okay?
What does it matter?
So...
It could matter.
Would you need to know a person that she invited to the wedding that she has been intimate with? Does she need to run that by you before she invites that person?
No, because it's not relevant to me.
But let me ask you this. Would you ask, why are you inviting this person?
No, you don't know yet. Let's just say you don't even know.
Like, say,
but you find out.
I want to invite Eric to the wedding.
And
Okay.
Eric,
Do you know Eric? Does he know Eric?
I
No,
don't know
so you
Eric.
don't know Eric. Eric is just part of
Correct.
on her list of people she's inviting.
Yes.
And you find out after the wedding that she has slept with Eric.
But you're moving too quick. He looks at the list. He sees Eric. He has no clue who Eric is.
No clue who Eric is.
So
That's
what?
the thing.
There's a conversation that needs to
I'm gonna
happen there.
say, hey, who's Eric? She say, oh, what if? Okay, just to play into your
Scenario.
She just says, I've known him for years. He's a great friend.
So she let's say she didn't even lie about him.
She just
let's say
omitted.
the conversation never happened.
Okay.
No, you never even asked because look, you're not gonna ask about every single person on their list. You know what I
If
mean?
we
It's
paying
just
for
gonna
this
be
wedding, I gotta know.
Fact.
no, but let's just say Eric was part Eric also came with his mom. Let's just say
Okay,
she was part of
alright.
a situation like family, friends, whatever. You know,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
have had a
Family
relationship with
friend
family
Linda
friend
and her son
Yeah,
Eric.
so you don't,
Okay.
but you have no idea
Sure.
that Eric and your. I hate talking about. I hope you don't understand that I'm trying to talk about your actual girl, but I'm just saying
I get
let's
you.
just say in this scenario that they had been intimate before in the past, family, friends
Correct.
from when they were younger.
Yeah.
Right. So, but you don't know, and you find out after the fact. It's you. The ring's already on. You guys are married. Whatever the fact, and somehow it comes up.
You
How
said
would you
it though.
feel? How would you feel about?
You said it. The ring's already on.
Yeah.
What do I care?
And you are mature as fuck.
What do I care?
Chris.
You are.
What do I care?
Chris. I hope I would have as much grace as you are talking about
What
right
do
now.
I care?
Chris.
Go ahead.
Before we
Go
ask
ahead.
Chris, how would you feel about that same
Hold on
situation?
1 second. Because I don't
ahead.
believe you.
Go ahead.
There was a phone call with you and me.
With you and me.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, he's trying to take this really real.
I don't understand. And we slept together.
No.
Well, now I'm confused.
There was I'm not going to say all of it, but there was a phone call and it was sadness.
I was sad.
Yes.
I don't remember.
Okay. I'm not going to say it all, so I will leave it right there.
So let's
Okay,
just
go
talk
ahead.
about your situation.
Tell me.
How would you
tell
feel
me.
in the same scenario?
Yes. Okay.
you don't
So
know-
first of all, I'm asking about Eric. Okay. If let's say put me this about
I know what conversation you're talking about. Okay, so if that person
Thank you.
was invited
Thank
and
you.
I knew, but I knew before or I
Yeah.
found out after, like Sunil said.
No. Because I think those are two different emotions.
Right.
If you find out before, it's something. If you find out after, it's something else.
Yeah.
So let's talk about after first.
So what are you asking?
So-
Before or after?
You reading me.
I
You
got
understand the phone
100%.
call.
I remember.
Walmart.
I was real sad.
Okay? Now, she says, this is my friend. I want to invite him.
Who are you?
Let's say
Regardless of who it is, I'm gonna ask, who are you?
Okay.
Because again, we're paying for this thing. I gotta know who gets the chicken plate.
Yes.
Or not.
Yes. So, before, how do you feel?
She says
you find out before.
She says that this is a dude that I used to date back in the day. We were together for 2 years. What's your follow-up question?
Is it that important that he needs to be there?
No. That's the first.
That's my first question. Is
You're
it
not
that
trying to
important
ask.
that you need to be?
You're not trying to ask.
And
did you
you've
fuck?
never hung out with this guy.
I never known this
you've
dude.
never
So
seen
are
him.
you asking him? Did you guys fuck?
That's the
first
answer that
follow-up
I'm looking
question.
for in my question.
That's the first follow-up question, right?
Well, isn't my question asking the same thing? Is it that important that he needs to be there?
But I don't think. I think those are two separate questions.
Is he that important
Because
to you?
because
Is he that important to you that you need to be there?
Because-
That he needs
so-
to
And
be
what
there?
if it's yes?
And if it's yes, I'm gonna ask more questions.
Okay, what's
Yeah.
your next follow-up question?
Why?
Why?
And
If he's never hung out with this guy, and
so just be like, this
and
is a really close family friend from
please.
from back when I'm home.
Okay, but you never mentioned him. I've been to your family home.
What if he says?
Where's this guy?
What if
Thank
she
you.
says? I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
What if she says, our families are family friends?
If it's the Linda and the son thing,
Yeah.
if Linda's going, I mean, whatever.
So it's okay if he's fucked her.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay?
hey, and you know what? Hey,
no.
Chris,
If
And you
it's
didn't
Linda,
know?
if it's Linda and the son, I'm sorry, I'm spitting everything.
like it's a family.
COVID.
It's not just him. It's him and
If
his
it's him and
family.
the
I
whole
will.
family, what am I gonna
Come
do?
to this wedding. I'm gonna knock your head off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna knock your head off.
I was.
If you come to this wedding,
Hey,
I'm
hey.
gonna knock your head off,
Kelby
buddy.
was fake as
Okay.
fuck earlier in this conversation.
I'm not being fake because
No,
your
now
question,
you-
your question didn't make any sense to me. What I'm saying,
Because I'm a virgin.
No, because the thing is, no. Here's the thing.
How did this question
No,
not make
hold
any
up,
sense?
hold up. Because what you're saying, let me say the whole thing.
Okay.
I never met this guy. I have no clue who he is. I've met Linda.
No, you haven't.
When you've been together for 12, 13, 14, 15 years, you know
We're
Linda.
not
know
talking
Linda.
about. That's a different
No, but I'm
situation.
giving you
We're
this-
talking about
I'm-
3-4 years.
Okay, 3-4 years.
I haven't met all of my girls' family friends from back in the day.
Fine.
At 3-4 years.
Fine. Number one, red flag. You see the name on the list. You say, hey, who is this? She says, this is an important friend of mine. Nothing in you is going to say, important friend. I've been around for 4 Christmases. Never heard of him.
Maybe he's not important.
But what if she don't bring it up like that? What if she says this is Linda's son?
This is why that finding out after the marriage is important. Because if you find out way after, I'm not talking years after when everything is settled in, but you find out 2 weeks later, oh, me and Linda Jr. had a thing for a while. Oh, I'm getting annulled.
Let me. Why?
It's over with
Why?
because you're lying.
How is she lying?
Because she omitted the truth.
First of all, if you saw Linda, Javier, and children, you're not deep diving into that situation.
But
Yeah, but
this
she's
is-
purposefully.
In this scenario, we looked over the list. We saw the family. I say, okay, say Linda. I know her husband Javier. I see these kids.
Even if you don't know them,
Well,
You
no,
just
no, but
know-
she already told me, hey,
Yeah.
Linda's on this list. These are her kids. I'm like,
does
oh,
she
who's
need
this?
to go out of her way to say, by the way, I've had a relationship with Javier Jr. that's coming to the wedding?
To me, and it's just my gut reaction. It doesn't matter because we're getting married. Like, what's gonna happen?
Why does he need to be there?
Because
If
he's part
with
of the family
If he's with the
friends.
family, okay.
He
If he comes
doesn't
alone-
need to be. You are paying food you are paying for a plate of food for somebody else who's defiled you.
I think Kelby, I think it's difficult for you to be able to have an opinion because your situation with sex is different than most people.
You're a virgin. Shut up.
So what I'm saying is, so let's say for me, let's say I've been dating, I met this girl, we've been together for 3-4 years, I propose, we about to get married. There's a whole different life that she's had that I haven't been a part of.
And
So
what's
let's-
right?
Conversations
Well,
need
So
to be
let's
had.
say but let's say from 7. So let's say a normal, let's say sexually active person. Let's say on the high end, let's say it's even super conservative. 18 is the first time she's had sex when she was a freshman in college. Let's say the sex that she had was with a family friend that our families know from hometown, but I wasn't even a thought. We had never even met. We weren't ever in the same circles to ever have met. We meet 10 years later.
Okay.
And then we are together for however many years. This is her first.
Okay.
She's had multiple partners since then. I've had multiple partners since then.
How many of those other partners is she inviting to the wedding?
But she's not inviting him. Her family's inviting that family.
He doesn't have to go. The only thing is, it's not so much that they've been intimate together.
But
it's the fact that she's not telling you.
Let's say her parents don't even know. That, let's say that individual's parents, let's say Javier Jr.'s parents don't even know that Javier Jr. and the bride have had sex together.
You're letting this all fly over your head. It's not about the act. It's about the fact that she's not telling you. There has to be some.
So she needs to tell you that. Hey,
yeah, she has to. It's a part of respect.
Okay.
If he's gonna be there, you have to recognize whose hand you're shaking.
That's what I'm asking. That's my question. Yes.
At the end of the night,
So
when
she
we're going
has to
around
tell
doing
it.
all the
Okay,
time, you
but-
got to tell me, hey, when I just letting you know, out of respect,
Right.
We got to start this thing off right. He was the
slept with
first
him.
person that I was with when I was 18. We've never been together again. He's a cool guy. He's a friend of mine. He's a
that's
friend
fair.
of the family.
That's
cool.
fair.
Let's say she's
But-
not even a friend of mine. She's just a friend. We are family friends. He is not a friend of mine anymore. I don't talk to him, but our families are friends.
Okay.
So do you have veto power or not?
No, at this point, the honesty is there. He could come along. I'll pay
As
for
long
his
as
chicken.
she lets you know is what you're saying.
Just
So
tell
you
me.
don't have veto
but
power.
it's the
But
lie.
if she don't tell you,
If she don't tell me and I
okay.
find out, woo! I'm going Solange in the elevator.
This coming from the virgin.
To me, it don't-
What about you, Chris?
I don't think. Okay, I'm trying to like internalize it and see how it would react. If she didn't tell me and I find out before, okay, if I found out before,
She tells you straight up, hey, by the way, Chris, we're inviting my family friends, the Gonzaleses.
Yeah.
My second sexual
You know he knows
experience
white people.
was with my
very
sexual
few. I'm
second
just
was with Ricky Gonzalez, which is actually the son of these people.
Yeah.
He's gonna be there as well. How
He
are
better
you
be
accepting?
gay now.
Do you have veto? No. Let's just say, do you have veto power or not?
no.
Okay.
If I found out before, I'm just gonna ask, hey, how come you didn't tell me? Well, okay, if I
it.
find out and I found out not through her, say through mom,
Yep.
and she was like, oh, that was her first. That's how she lost her virginity.
That's a fact.
Kelby doesn't know anything about that, but if she tells me, oh, that's how she lost her virginity, that was her first boyfriend, and da 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 da, I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, how come you didn't tell me that before?
That's it.
And if she comes at me and says it wasn't relevant, and da da da, this and
Oh,
this
it's
and that,
relevant.
it don't matter because I'm marrying you because they're family friends. It was an old thing. I was 18. We're 27.
Chris,
Whoop de doo.
if she doesn't tell you about one thing that she deems is relevant or not relevant, what else is quote unquote not relevant to her?
The real question you're asking me, Kelby, is
Do I trust my girl?
trust. Is a question of trust.
Yeah.
And if I trust my partner enough that it doesn't matter whether she told me before or after, if I found out by somebody else, it doesn't matter. If I trust her, I trust her.
Follow up questions about those.
Simp activities.
Can I ask a follow
You
up
a
question?
virgin. Get out of here.
Fact.
Hey,
Go read the
can
Bible.
Hey, on Easter
that
Sunday,
bad?
he is risen. So, can I ask a follow up question?
Ask me.
So, same situation. He's in the bridal party.
He gotta die.
He's in the bridal party.
So what I'm saying is now.
Why is he walking down the aisle?
So she
After
says,
you done walked through my
so this
girl.
is like a close look,
I like the
Savalas,
way you said
this
that.
is a close family friend, right? So you know
Okay.
how sometimes like it's family that's like, yo, you gotta be. So she asks you, he needs to be a groomsman because my mother and her mother are best friends. But you find out that was her first.
And she didn't tell you after all these years?
No. 10 years later.
She's
See,
going
that-
to the
Hey, look,
gulag.
first of all, when I date somebody, I'm not asking about who their first is.
No,
You'll
not.
eventually
But
find out.
if they're gonna be in your groom's party,
So she tells
she's
you.
gonna let you know.
She tells
Thank you.
you.
She's gonna let you know.
Saying, so that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
She tells you.
Thank you.
And it wasn't because she wants him in. It's because it's a family thing. And you understand Hispanic families. I'm an Indian family, culture. You Haitian families. Like, the mother's best friend is important. The mother's best friend is important
By the way,
to like the actual event, right?
right.
So
The front little knobby thing. A
That
little
was-
technical difficulty during the podcast.
anyways, answer the question.
If it's the moms, no, I would say no.
You would say no what?
No, he can't be in the groom's party.
I would say no.
To me.
It'd be awkward, right?
Our wedding,
Right.
It's not mom's wedding. I understand that's how moms are in these cultures. And
Follow up
especially in my
question.
culture. Go ahead. Follow up the follow up. Go ahead.
You've smashed one of the bridesmaids.
Come on now.
I've smashed one of the, but she knows.
She knows.
The missus knows. My missus knows.
You are. Would you ask her to?
Oh, to be a bridesmaid.
Would you like say this is the same scenario? Your mom and her mom are best friends,
Oh, and she wants her to be in the party.
and would you ask your wife
No.
or fiance?
No. Because
She can't be in that. It's just
She can't-
filing.
What? I'm just asking questions.
Because it's not.
I have no
if
thoughts.
it's not
I'm just
important to
asking
me,
questions.
then I don't need her in there.
That's it.
But
And it's not about trust. I just thought about that. It's not. It's
Is
about
your- argument.
communication.
Is your mom not important to you?
She's very important.
And your
to me.
mom really?
But my
How do you tell your mom?
knows-
How do you tell your mom that she can't be in it?
I will tell my mom straight out because that's the relationship I got with my mom.
What would you say?
I would say, hey, you know what? I don't feel
Busted
comfortable
down
with
in
it.
there.
I don't think it's a good idea.
I dicked her. Damn.
Here you go. That's the
She would say it
question.
in Spanish.
Does my mom
Did-
know that I smashed her?
Of course she doesn't. Because
doesn't
when you
know.
was young, you wasn't talking about sex with your mom.
Oh, okay, for sure. I'm gonna say
Would your mom know that? Like
I don't know.
Like
If I had told her,
yeah. Like you would tell your mom that?
maybe I think so.
Oh, okay.
Hey, this is the first time my mom's finding out that I've had sex
My mom don't listen to this.
on camera.
I'm a virgin. Heartbreak
But
anniversary.
hey, but real question, because look, that's a real. Chris, is that not a real scenario that could happen?
It could happen. It could definitely happen. But
So
I just
your
know the way
mom
that
is
I
saying,
am
your mom is saying, Angelica needs
has
to be one
in
of the.
thing.
You know that you and Angelica has had a sexual
he knows
relationship
black
before.
I know all cultures.
Right. Sure, but your mom's best friend is not a black person. Let's be honest.
Wow,
so,
bro.
anyways, so
He said that
That's
on the
sicko.
podcast.
That's sicko.
And you adjusted his mic.
and it is true. So, let's say Angelica is your first
Okay.
or second, whatever. It doesn't have to be
And
the
mom's
first.
is telling me she has to be in the thing.
Mom's doesn't know about the sexual
She
relationship
doesn't know that we
because you're not
smashed.
telling her everybody you smashed.
Okay.
Your fiance, maybe you guys haven't talked about it because at the end of the day, you're not talking about all the girls you smashed because in this scenario, you have had a rich sexual experience with
Okay.
people. All right?
All right.
So this is the first opportunity you have to explain Angelica to your fiance.
That's okay.
So your mom's like,
She got to be in there.
your mom's like, Chris, por favor,
Wow. She speaks
Angelica, es necesito.
No, nigga.
Spanish. No.
So she's saying, she's saying, it's muy importante
Okay, go
that
ahead.
that Angelica has to be part of the bridesmaids.
First
And
of
you
all,
know the relationship between you and Angelica.
Mama speaks
You know
you.
that you and your fiance are on a different level. You've never told your fiance about Angelica. My question is, are you telling your fiance or are you just allowing it to happen because you know you and Angelica are far, like it would never come up? she is off with other dudes.
You
like,
can take that on so many levels.
right. So let's
You
take
can take it on so many levels.
Let's take it on them
because
levels.
If I come at my
Mario
wife,
first level, do 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 do.
if I come at my wife and say, "Yo, my mom really wants Angelica in the wedding party," and on your side, I don't feel comfortable with it because she was my first, etc., etc., etc. But why don't I feel comfortable with it?
That's the problem. That's the
Why
real
don't I
problem,
feel
right?
Comfortable with it.
But are you because are you creating that problem, or are you just letting it? Are you just
Correct? That's the thing.
No,
And
but
it
I'm
does
saying,
come
let's
down-
say you don't have a problem with it.
Oh, okay.
Are you going out of your way to let your girl know that she has been somebody you've been sexual with?
Yeah.
Why?
Well,
we can't put that on Chris because it's not a conversation he's gonna have.
no, it's not a conversation.
What are we doing here, guys?
No, you got.
What are we doing
No,
here?
no, 'cause
if
the
we
thing
can't
is-
hypothesize about situations.
No. Because the thing is, it's like. It's
I'm the only one that can answer these questions?
I think it's
No.
easier. I think it's easier for us to answer that, but because we've been in more similar situations.
Correct.
But Chris,
I've never been in that situation.
Hold on. No, but Chris is not. He has to really dig into his mind, like.
Where am I at?
Yeah, like
Am I
where
that
did
type
this
of
come
person?
from?
So are you
Because he's
trying to
been with his
admit
girl
that you're
since he
not a
was
virgin?
13.
Are you admitting that you're not a virgin?
Listen, man.
Go ahead.
Right? Be blessed, man. Seriously.
But I like
Relax.
what you said, Kelby. It's not about faith. Not faith. Trust. It's
not about trust.
communication.
Yes, because you can have all the trust in the world until somebody says something to you that says, "Oh, wait a second. I've been
Correct.
trusting you this whole time, but you didn't communicate this
So
thing
you
to
pissing
But
me."
I think trust is solidified more with communication.
So it
has to
I think
be.
that's
Here's,
gotta start
here's
there.
the
Yeah.
point I'm trying to make. Are you disappointing your mom, or are you
I forget the mom.
disappointing your fiance?
I'm disappointing my mom.
100%.
100%.
That's
Sorry,
not.
Ma. She's
yeah.
not gonna be.
But there is
Sorry,
an
let you know.
option where you could not tell your fiance, and it could just be what it is.
No, I'm gonna tell my mama. I'm gonna say, look, this is the deal. She can't be in this thing.
That's it.
And she asks why.
She asked me why. We had sex. Sorry, ma.
That's it.
I would never tell my mom that.
What would you do then? You over here asking all the questions.
So the situation is, my mom wants somebody that I've been intimate with to be in the bridesmaids.
Look.
Bridal
Now
party.
you don't know what the situation.
Nah,
No,
you don't
because
know.
I
Go
come
ahead,
from,
use some
I come
racist
from
names,
Indian
Sunil.
weddings. We don't have
use some
bridesmaids.
racist
Yeah, no,
names.
use the name,
Your
Chris.
mom wants Rajneesh
Hey.
in the bridal
I'm
party.
Indian. We don't have bridesmaids and groomsmen,
Oh,
so
see, there
it
you
don't
go.
matter.
You don't?
Nah.
Hey, but I
We
hear
walk
do
around
you
the
guys
fire
have
7
giant
times.
weddings?
Yeah.
Because that's what I heard.
Rich weddings.
We
too.
walk
Rich
around
weddings.
fire 7 times. There ain't no groomsmen. There ain't no bridesmaids. We
'Cause that's
just
a lot.
Okay,
is what
now
it
let's
is.
just say that you're
Christian wedding.
Yeah, Americanized.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
say you wanted a traditional Christian wedding.
So there's a bridesmaid that's family friends.
Say your wife
Same situation.
is from here.
Okay.
She's not Indian.
Right.
White girl.
So ask me the question.
Okay, so your mom wants. I'm trying to think of a lady name. She wants Summer to be in.
Oh, this is a white girl.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
My
it's a
mom's
fact.
not asking a
I'm
white
trying
girl
not
to
to
be
be
in my wedding.
racist,
Let's
Sunil.
just say Anita.
Sure.
Okay,
Anita needs to be in.
Anita's a family friend. We grew up together.
Correct.
Okay.
Same
You
situation.
beat it down a long time ago.
All right.
So what you gonna say?
From proximity, not from love.
Sure.
No, no. Hold up. I'm gonna add a piece of the layer to this onion. She was like your first 17, 18-year-old love.
All right.
But now y'all like cool, like brother sister type.
Right.
But back then, 15,
I was
20
getting
years
in it.
ago,
I was balls
you
deep.
was like, this is my
I was
girl.
balls
and then
deep.
And then you went to college, and then she went to
Yeah.
college, and then she got a guy,
She's
and
with
you never
somebody-
thought about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not jealous of her. She's not jealous of me.
Correct.
It's all cool.
So what
All
you
right.
gonna do?
But my girl don't know about her.
And she don't. Yeah. No.
Because you've
Okay.
omitted this information in the
'Cause
years.
apparently-
not
you guys been
omitted.
together.
It just never came up.
It comes up.
I've lied about it.
No.
But these things come up. I don't understand why you guys say like, "Oh, I would never ask about your past." Yeah, I want to know the Carfax. I want to know.
Kelby.
Like
I
when,
don't like the way you say that.
No, I do.
The
but
Carfax.
yeah, I want to know the facts.
She's not a car, bro.
Kelby.
All right. Well, I'm gonna drive it.
So
down.
Kelby,
All right,
you
go
and I differ greatly on that. differ
I'm not,
greatly on that.
But see, the thing is, I'm not gonna sit and ask.
I'm asking about the most recent. I don't give a fuck about 5 years.
I
10
care.
Years down
I
the
care
line.
about you and your evolution as a person.
And that's just an insecure dude.
And
That's
that's-
No,
asking
it's
us
not.
questions.
No,
It
because
is.
I
It's
asked.
just
I asked like,
contradiction.
oh well, tell me like for me, I know I have one important relationship in my life that happened 9 years ago that shaped who I am today. 100%.
Right.
And I bring it up. If I'm talking to somebody, I bring it up. I always kind of mention her
Right.
every once
It's
in a while.
not like he's
So-
interrogating the girl.
No, I'm
saying,
not.
"Yo,
It's just like
give me the list."
Sometimes
No.
these women that I talk to, they start telling me about their own life, and I ask questions.
That's
Oh, okay. Well,
100%
tell me
right.
about how this happened. Why did you guys break up? Blah blah blah. It teaches me a lot about this person.
different.
So for you to say, "Oh, everything is invalid," I only need the 2020 history report. Make sure you ain't got
I
no
don't need
bumps.
all that.
We good. But
I
I
need
want
all
to
that.
know what's happening deep inside. Have you been hurt before? How have you been hurt
That's
before?
different
What
from
have you-
knowing the names and who they are.
I
and all
don't need
that
to
kind of
know that
stuff.
in that specific sense.
But that's what you asking for. I can
I'm
know
not.
about the situations around it versus knowing who exactly were those people.
Nah,
But how you gonna marry this girl
Facts.
and not know everything about her?
That's a
not
fact.
not everything, but like how you gonna
My
like,
dude, most I
create
don't
a
know.
relationship
Look,
based
I
on
can't
not
speak
knowing?
to most people, but I'm saying my friends group to go down the list of everybody that they've slept with
right?
would be would be like, let me speak from experience. There are people that are on my list that I can't even tell you what their names are.
Right.
Sure.
All right, so like to act as if that is important to the
This is where you're messing up.
but you're talking of it from an experience of you can't experience that because you're not that.
Hold up. People have asked me, right?
I have a friend.
No. They've asked me.
Go ahead.
They've asked me about points in my life, right? And one of the points in my life where I was a different person was when I had first lost weight. I lost 135 pounds, and it was a different me. Okay.
Sure.
I was like Mr. Confidence. Every time I stepped out of the house, I could get whatever I want. Period.
In your brain.
In my brain, yes. But
But you didn't fuck them, so you don't know.
okay, fine. So
There's a big difference there, Kelby.
listen,
You're
listen,
talking
listen,
about
listen.
hypotheticals.
Listen,
I'm
listen,
talking about
listen.
reality and actuality.
Expand your thought for a second.
No, I'm talking, but you can in
hold
this
on,
situation.
Hold on 1 second.
All right.
I explain that. For example, if I say, hey, there was a moment in time where, hey, man, I was just out there in the streets. Okay. I explain that this is a moment. I'm not saying I need to check off a list everybody that I've been with. But there are people that have made significant impacts in my life that I do talk about. But then there's that 3-year moment, that 3-year stint where everything is a blur. And I just explain that. Like, yo, look, for 3 years, I was out there. I was doing everything.
Sure.
However, that experience is one big experience, okay? But then there's another big experience that happened with just one person.
Okay.
That is what I mean when I say I ask about that. I'm not going down a checklist to say, hey, who is Marcus from accounting? Like, no, I just want to know the experiences
You
that
were
make
real.
you.
You were real with her.
That's
So that is
it.
different.
That's all I want to know.
That is different from my situation, what I'm going through, in the sense that like I am only if I see flags. Let's say a girl. Let's
You
say
don't have no clue where they coming from.
so. I no. Let me finish what I'm saying. So let's say all of a sudden me and the girl that I'm with is out, and some girl that I know, we see each other, and I'm like, hey, what's up? You know, whatever. So and so. I'm talking to her, whatever. I introduce my girl and all this kind of stuff, and my girl starts getting insecure about that situation. Right? So then that conversation is gonna stem to, hey, why are you reacting the way that you're reacting right now? And then
She
I'm gonna
doesn't know enough about you.
and then that's how the conversation is gonna spew off that look, I've been in my past, I've had dudes that have done this, and this, and all this kind of stuff. There isn't a like moment in our relationship where I'm sitting down with the yellow pad going through, let me check this off. So have you ever been cheated on? Have you ever been this about? Have you ever had a threesome? Like that conversation isn't happening, because at the end of the day, whatever's happened in your past that's developed you to be this, I am dealing with the person that you are right now. What is gone in the past is all chemicals that on their own, if I know about, can be consumed in the wrong way than if I don't see what is the finished product right now.
No, I think
but you are talking from inexperience.
No, I'm not.
You
I'm
are though, because at the end of the day, you are talking about something that you are hypothesizing
That's
about.
not true.
All right, but at the end of the day, you can't say you're a virgin and say that you're speaking from experience. There's two different things. So you got to either knock it down and be like, yo, I fucked some girls, this is what I'm talking about from experience, or you got to be like, yo, I'm talking about my hypotheses.
No, because you're talking about two different things.
I'm not.
You are.
Okay.
You are talking, now you're talking back, we're bringing it back to communication. Mm-hmm. He is waiting for the moment for the problem to arise for him to solve it. My strategy is not that. My strategy is, yo, before we do anything, let's have a conversation and just know each other. Who are you? What you been up to? How do I know who you are is really who you are? Because everybody can fake something for a while. And then all of a sudden, once you start explaining to me who you are and I start explaining to you who I am, then things start making sense. That's when some girls that I've dated, I don't do certain things because I know that they're insecure because another guy did that to them. So I am talking from experience. Okay?
But that is the wrong way to react to a situation in my mind.
What is the wrongness in that?
Because at the end of the day, somebody being insecure because something in their past has nothing to do with how I'm going to approach them. Because at the end of the day, I'm not that person. So
Correct,
I am who I am. Who this girl in my relationship is may be affected by things in their past, but has nothing to do with anybody in their past.
That's understandable. But what I'm saying is,
because that is the only way a healthy relationship goes.
No. You're missing gaps of information. For me, information is powerful.
But that is reality, though. At the end of the day, you don't understand who a person is until the situation happens. I can't, even if you ask me right now, what are the things that created you to be the way you are right now, Sunil? I wouldn't be able to give you the clip notes.
No. You're overgeneralizing it. I know for me, I've had to learn this specifically on my own, okay? Because some of the things that have happened to me with somebody I dated 5 years ago, Chris, you know her.
Correct.
One of my issues was I didn't really like to talk to her that much.
Was it 5 years ago?
2016.
Sorry. Tangent.
2016.
Wow. That was a while back.
I didn't like to talk to her that much because everything I said was bad. Everything I said was bad. It was always an argument. And so...
How would this argument start? She would pick at you or you would pick at her?
She would pick at me.
Okay.
Everything I said, hey, that's bad. Blah, blah, blah. She told me one time I said, bet. I said the word bet. Mm-hmm. She said something to me. I was like, okay, bet. She was like, I don't like when you say this. Blah, blah, blah. So like all this stuff, right? So into my next relationship in 2017 or 2018, whatever year that was, I was a very quiet guy. Mm-hmm. I was quiet. I didn't want to say anything because I was like, yo, last relationship, I learned, hey, don't talk. Don't say things. You know what ended up happening? She said, hey, you don't tell me anything about yourself. I know nothing about you. So it's over. And I said, yo, my bad. In my last relationship, I should have told you this already. We had a billion arguments because every time I opened my mouth, something bad happened. And she was like, it's too late now. But if you had told me this a long time ago, we could have worked on it.
So how is that different from what I'm saying?
What you're saying is you're waiting until that point where she says, hey, this is not working. I'm out.
That's not what I'm saying.
What are you saying then?
If one fight crazes the situation and be over, that's not the person you're supposed to be with anyways.
No, but it can be a buildup of things.
No, but that's what I'm. That's where I'm saying both of you guys are coming from people that are inexperienced to be able to have this conversation because it sounds like that from what you're saying. So let me ask you. Let me say why. So the first time it comes up, Kelby, that girl, the second girl, not the first girl, the second girl's be like, why don't you tell me anything about yourself? I'm already coming out and being like, well, to be honest, in past relationships, when I've spoken about certain things, like they've just gotten in on me about. So I tend to just be quiet. I tend to listen more and then, go from there. And they're like, well, you know what? That's fucked up of that ex-girl of yours.
But that's not me. She's already telling you this as she's breaking up with you.
No, but what I'm saying is I haven't been in a relationship where the first fight ends up being a breakup. First fight.
No.
So that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is the first time that conflict happens is when we're explaining each other about it.
No,
so
but I can't just break my walls down because I'm scarred already.
Then that's you shouldn't be dating.
I feel
that isn't for the other person to fix you. That
exactly.
isn't for so at that point, that's a you problem. That's not a them problem.
I had to learn.
So what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying healthy people that are going through a relationship together I'm a healthy person. The other person I hope to date is a healthy person. I don't need to know everything about their past before a problem comes up for us to discuss about their past. Because if you've already gotten over it, a person that has been raped in their past.
They don't need to ever tell you that?
If they've gotten over it and there's nothing that's ever come up about it, there's no point in our relationship where there's no issues about it that they need to be like, by the way, Sunil, I just want you to know I've been raped.
That's not healthy.
Not until
there's not a single situation where anybody has been raped where they're okay with it and they're over it already.
Oh, yeah.
That's a false statement.
That's a part of who they are.
And I'm telling you that I've had best friends that it never came up with until we needed to come up with, that we're still best friends about. There are girls that I've dated that it's never come up with.
I've been down that path too.
Until even while we were dating, I didn't know till after it. I'm saying those type of situations and scenarios, like that they've been cheated on, that they've been raped, or even whatever scars I have, don't need to be discussed until those situations actually happen.
No.
Because at the end of the day, there is not a laundry list that we need to go through for us to be compatible. It's all about how you deal with situations throughout the process.
It's not about a laundry list, but I've been down that path of someone who was raped, who has a child from rape, who had a problem with addiction, who had all these things in the past, and it was my duty to really understand this person, and so I can dictate myself in the way that makes her most comfortable with me. It was important to me that she tell me some of these things that she's gone through in life because it changes
on her own time, right?
I'm not saying that she needs to tell me immediately,
right?
But I'm also saying that within the course of the relationship, we do have these. Hey, this is who I am. I need to tell you. It doesn't need to be a fight for me to tell you.
But you are saying the same exact thing.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying on the own time of the relationship, it will come up. I thought what you're saying, and maybe I misinterpreted, that there needs to be a moment where we sit down and we go over.
That's not what I'm saying.
But it's gonna come up.
Exactly.
It's gonna come up.
That's all I'm saying is eventually it will come up because certain reactions to certain things are based off of stuff that we've dealt with in the past.
I don't think it needs to. That's where I'm disagreeing with you. I don't think you need to wait for something to happen for it to be triggered for it to be explained. I think in certain relationships, there are some clear things that have happened to you in the past that if you tell me about and you recognize that this is something that you're working through and it's happened to you in the past, tell me about it.
Sure, but that would not come up until a situation comes up.
It's always come up for me, but I'm a pretty good communicator.
But it's never come up until something has triggered that moment.
True. That's not true.
So you guys were just sitting down one day and she's like, by the way, Kelby, I've been raped.
No, I'll tell you exactly how it happened. We were sitting down having a conversation and she turned around and she was just like, hey, look, I need to tell you more about me because this is getting serious. And I've had this conversation with people that have had STDs, like all different types of things. And the moment that they felt like, hey, this situation is getting serious, they say, hey, before you take a deeper step into this, recognize who I am. They pay me that courtesy. They give me that respect to say, hey, These are some of the things that happened to me in life. You're gonna have to deal with them. I'm not 100% over anything. So before we move on to that next level, and it's happened many times, they tell me, and then I make the decision to say, understood, I shall proceed. Or, hey, this might be too much for me. I don't know if it's what's happened in your past. I can be the person that can move forward with you, because there is nothing that happened in life that you are so unaffected by now that, oh no, I will wait for something to be triggered. It just does not happen.
And what I'm saying is the same exact thing. That conversation wasn't happening when you first met. That conversation wasn't happening on the third date. That conversation wasn't happening until it got to a point where you guys caught feelings for each other and wanted to take a step to where this information needed to be known. And that's exactly what I'm saying, is that these type of conversations don't happen until there's a reason to have these conversations. So to act like you're going to know everything about somebody when maybe a scenario didn't come up until this. So I'll tell you an example. So I dated this girl for 5 years, and she met my parents, I met her parents, to the point like we were about to get married. And it wasn't until like a certain situation, I found out 5 years into the relationship that she had been molested by her uncle.
Okay.
So she knew so much about me. I knew so much about her, but it wasn't until a certain trigger moment, which happened to be a movie we watched together, that she explained this situation to me. Not because obviously that was an important aspect of her life, but there wasn't a reason for her to tell that to me until a moment in which she felt comfortable, or it was in conversation that she brought that up to me. Does that mean that I now denigrate the type of relationship we have because she didn't feel comfortable enough until 5 years into the relationship, after we had already made all of these decisions about our future and all this kind of stuff? Not at all. It just happened to be at that moment that it was brought up, because in whatever way she was dealing with it, or whatever way, it hadn't affected her in a way that she needed to tell me. To what? I don't think anything less that she didn't tell me that.
So do you think she wasn't dealing with that internally?
I think from what she told me is like, I don't think about that, Sunil. So the only reason why I told you now is because it just came up.
I don't believe that.
Okay, well now you're putting your own thought process on something that somebody that actually dealt with it.
Here's the thing,
goes
though.
Through it.
Here's the thing. The reason why I say I don't believe that is because everything makes a person. So she may not think about it, but there is something that's happening in the subconscious that has changed who she is as a person.
Maybe, but
if she wants to suppress that, she's not going to.
And her subconscious.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, but what we're talking about is whether or not they expose it or not, and whether or not us knowing about it should make a difference in how we deal with them. What I'm saying is that you can and going back to the original question of what we're talking about is there. I don't think that I'm gonna know every single detail of the person that I've been with for a certain amount of years.
No, you won't.
Regardless of how deep we are, and that I don't know doesn't necessarily take away from the depth of the relationship that we have, because I am dealing with the depth of who she is in the moment now.
Okay, so let's put a bow tie on this real quick. Can it be possible for people to omit information purposefully?
Sure.
Right?
Yep.
So back to the original question. Person wants to walk in a wedding. You guys have been intimate. Hey, we're talking about this person now. They're going to be in the pictures that last forever. This person is going to be in a book in our house forever. Here's your chance. If you don't tell me now, you are purposefully trying to hide it.
Sure. I agree.
You're purposefully trying to hide it.
But I'm not saying it won't happen.
Yeah, it will happen, but that's poor communication.
Sure.
Yeah.
And or it could come from, and this is not right, but it could come from, I don't want to cause drama, but if you don't feel comfortable enough to tell the truth, it's probably not the person you should be with. Agree or disagree?
Yeah. Or
We on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know what you guys thought about it. Because it's wedding season, baby. So there's a lot of dudes and women going to weddings where they smash the groom or the bride. Maybe even the pasture.
What else you got in your phone?
So what we talking about?
You want to talk about the Michael Rappaport beef?
Ooh, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
You explaining it?
So Michael Rappaport,
Bitch report, as I like to say
he
it.
likes to go around on the gram and talk trash about people. That's what he does.
Essentially his job.
Okay, he likes to go around and talk trash about people, and then he
Denigrate people's character.
Okay.
There's a difference between talking trash and a difference between denigrating a person's character.
Okay, and he goes hard,
Deep.
Like he's a
using
New York,
knives.
he's a New Yorker, so he talks with the aggressiveness. He goes hard. Now, homeboy from Barstool puts out a shirt with a herpy on his lip. Portnoy puts out a shirt with a herpy on his lip, and he's
Hey,
going
David
after him.
Portnoy, come on the show, baby boy. You a goat.
Okay. Michael Rappaport says, hey, no way. He sends out his lawyers, and the lawyers say cease and desist on selling this shirt.
I'm sorry. Just to clarify, he put a shirt of Rappaport's face with a herpy on his lip.
So the story is Rappaport has some bad skin underneath his lip.
Okay.
So it looks like that there could be something down there. Obviously, nobody knows what it is, but there's definitely some redness protruding underneath his lip. So David Portnoy, after so the story is Portnoy had hired Rappaport to go on these long rants and be on the Barstool platform. Rappaport ended up getting fired because of whatever beef that they had with each other. After they got fired and Rappaport decided to go on this rant about negativity and talking about the character of Portnoy and Barstool and all this kind of stuff, Portnoy put out this shirt, which ended up having, it's a famous shirt that he does where he takes somebody that he's beefing with, puts a clown nose on him, and with the Rappaport shirt, it ended up having a red spot underneath his lip, which somebody else on Barstool said it's because Rappaport has herpes.
Okay. So this comes out, Rappaport says, my legal team says this shirt got to go. Okay. This is just to show you the groundwork of the unraveling of Michael Rappaport. Now, KD goes and he does some kind of interview somewhere, and Michael Rappaport...
He does an interview with Charles Barkley and the TNT crew.
Okay, so he does this interview, and
So
Michael
basically-
Rappaport has an issue with this interview and how KD conducted himself.
So because
interview.
Charles Barkley asked him a question that had to do with a reaction, and the way that Charles Barkley framed the question, it was a yes or no answer. So KD, knowing that he has a relationship with the media that isn't necessarily in a positive manner, he tries to keep to himself as much as possible because he doesn't trust the media to create a narrative for them. So he ended up answering yes or no to this question because it was a yes or no question that Charles Barkley asked. I just want to put it all in perspective as far as, where you're going now.
So Michael Rapp says some trash about this, and then KD responds to Michael Rappaport essentially saying,
through DMs.
Through the DMs, privately.
There it is. That's the key word. Say that out loud.
They do it privately.
That's important.
And KD says, you are this, you are that. Meet me here at this time. We gonna fight. I'm gonna bust your head open till the white meat shows. All that.
You are a de-esser?
Okay, all of this. He says that. Michael Rappaport says, hey, why don't you go help the kids? Okay. KD does not stop. He keeps on going. You are this, you are that. I'm going to punch your face in, blah, blah, blah. Go help the kids. KD doesn't stop. He keeps on going. He DMs him, blah, blah, blah. Then Michael Rappaport does what?
He broke the code.
does what a side chick does.
Not just a side
A
chick.
hurt side chick.
There it is.
See, I got experience. Shut up. I've never had a side chick. And I don't know. Ever know.
And you never will now.
Because you're talking like that. A hurt, discarded side chick.
Okay. Michael Report
Report.
posts the private DMs.
Oh! Bitch move.
KD gets fined $50K from the NBA. Michael Report comes out with a video that says, when people say bad things about me like I'm Jewish, nobody says anything about that.
Wow.
Also, this went way further than I thought it would. KD came out and said, we talk to each other like that all the time. And Report says, I would never tell my friend when I see you I'm going to spit in your face. That's just how I joke around. Okay, fine. Michael Report, you have to stop talking now.
Why?
First of all, as a guy who professionally trashes other people,
right.
You get paid to do it. You've been paid to do it.
Right.
That's how you use your stupid Instagram. And as a former fan, a guy who watched every episode of The War at Home.
Talk to him, Kelby.
You a punk for that.
Hey!
You really are. What were you, scared of KD? What were you, scared that he was going to punch your face in for you talking trash? Listen, man, in the United States of America, you can say what you want. But if you say something that somebody don't like and they say pull up, or be quiet.
Hey. Preach.
So you put yourself in that situation, and now, what did you think was going to happen?
What's going to happen,
You
Kelby?
shared all of the posts, and you thought everybody was going to say, oh, we feel so bad about you. KD's such a savage. No.
What they feel?
You're a punk.
Hey!
Michael Report was such a cool guy.
No.
He was before that. I mean, when he became the ranting guy, I thought it was annoying. But, fine. Before that, he was a pretty fine guy. At least somebody who was entertaining to me. Once he became the ranting guy, 1 out of 10 was all right. But to post private DMs after you talk so much trash is a shame. And I honestly think that KD and you got to go to Catch Steak and catch a fade. You have to give each other 4 minutes, feet to feet, no moving, punches only. Period.
KD is waxing that dude.
Oh, yeah. It's a shame. It's a shame to see that because it's like, it's code of ethics.
However, is it surprising?
No.
That's so
how,
what do I
that's
owe?
how
What,
the
Theme,
lights
what
are.
have I said about the year 2020 and 2021? It's the year of the what?
Oh, boy. Here we go. Tell him, Chris.
What is the year of?
OnlyFans.
No.
Grifting.
It's the year of the grifter. And Rappaport got exposed. Rappaport finally got exposed.
But it's always the person who dishes it that can't take it.
And
It's a
that's what
small guy who has that tough mentality. And when somebody says, well, you're short, they want to shoot things.
It's the first time that somebody came back at Rappaport.
Yeah.
And
He got his
KD
feelings hurt.
put that in the DMs.
Yeah.
He said, you've been going after Donald Trump for a whole year, and he didn't give a fuck about you.
That's a fact.
And now you going after so-and-so, you going after me. And if you want that beef, because KD's burner account, KD is very interactive with his fans. KD is live on Twitter. KD is not going just not respond. He is not the type of dude to just let bygones be bygones and let it brush off his shoulders. And it's not because KD is sensitive like everybody wants to put it. No. KD just feels like if you say something about me that I don't agree, I'm going to say something back to you.
He said a lot back.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Because
Even if he wasn't joking around, if I was Michael Rappaport and I was really scared, I would have been like, yo, My bad. I did not know
He
it was
never
that serious.
apologized, did he?
No, it's just I didn't know it was gonna be that serious. And when people say anti-Semitic jokes about me, yo, shut up, dude. Can't delete your accounts. Go sit in a corner, and that's it. Don't talk to black people anymore.
That's it, right? You wanted to get into the culture. You wanted to be part of Big Three, trashing everybody. You want to be on Instagram and Twitter, trashing everybody. You wanted to go at Dave Portnoy, took an L. You wanted to go at KD, took an L, because at the end of the day, I don't think KD's rep has taken any hits. In fact,
pay that 50K.
And what's 50 G's to a guy that has making $40 million a year from the NBA and then much more through endorsements and his business ventures. But regardless of that situation, the fact that Rappaport is trying to play the victim card,
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
it's more than unfortunate. It is
Systemic.
it's white power. It is white supremacy. And Rappaport is the person that's trying to be held on a pedestal because he's calling out white supremacy. But the minute that he got checked on it, what did he try to cash in?
Well, this goes back to the question: are Jewish people white?
I don't know what it is, but they're trying to play the victim. And anybody that's trying to play the victim card, when you created the situation, fuck you. That's what I have to say about it.
You never liked Michael Rappaport before?
Nah. I thought he was funny when I saw him on the podcast with like the Rogans, the Brendan Schaubs, the Chris D'Elias, all that kind of stuff back in the day and all this kind of stuff. But when I started seeing him on his rants,
I didn't like the rants. I
didn't like the rants at all. He went at LeBron for all the wrong reasons. I'm not a big LeBron fan, but the way that Rappaport went at LeBron, I was like, come on, bro. Like, that's not it. The fact all the stuff he went on Trump for whatever reasons. I'm not saying that Trump is my guy or whatever the case may be, but it's just the way that he goes at people with the vitriol that he goes at it. The fact that you so thin-skinned that you can't take it back, to me, makes you a punk. At least if you could like handle it, you know what I mean? And that's the thing, not to bring it because I think Candace Owens is Michael Rappaport on the right. But the fact about Candace Owens is she could take whatever comes her way. She never sits there and
talks
tries
back to it.
That's it. She never when Dave Chappelle went at her, when Cardi B goes at her, when anybody else tries to check her and go at her, she just takes it and just goes with it. She's not over here trying to be like, oh, let me expose you and let me be scared and all this kind of stuff. Like, at least she takes it, whether you agree with her or not. The fact that Rappaport went on this whole, like, I'm a victim, exposing DMs and all this kind of stuff, man, you a bitch. And you deserve to be treated like a bitch for life. And Dave Portnoy exposed you, and now KD exposed you. You should be written off forever. Go home. You've made millions. Go home. Go work at Denny's. That's what you should be doing.
I really like that movie he did with Patton Oswalt. I don't remember what it was
Let him
called.
be
I think
extras.
The Big Fan. Big Fan?
Is it? I think so.
Something like that.
Let them be extras. Let them be cameo roles on movies from now on. You don't deserve to be a main star. Nobody should be following you on Instagram because, dude, you a fool. You're fake.
He's about to trash you.
Please bring it. So Real Sunil at So Real Sunil Michael Rappaport.
What else we got?
Rant on me.
I don't know what else is on the list.
Georgia?
What's
You
going on
talking
in
about Georgia?
This will be our last
All right,
conversation.
go
All right.
All
Going
right.
political on the last conversation.
Nah, just real quick. So, some things changed in Georgia. They said, let me give the truth. They said, they being the state government of Georgia, says if you're within 100, I believe it's 150 feet, a partisan entity cannot offer people things such as food and or water. However, the state of Georgia will provide water for people, and it will not be backed or supported by any partisan group. That being said,
Why is that important?
Why is what important?
That it being necessarily a partisan group versus just any group. Because if I were to just want to give you water while you're waiting in line, would there be an issue with that?
Well, before we get to that,
Okay.
let's talk about what people are saying about it.
Sure.
So they're saying that this is number one, voter suppression, and they're saying that it's racist. Okay. Now,
Jim Crow. It's worse. It's Jim Crow on steroids, like our president Joe Biden has said.
So I need someone to explain to me why and what it is before I explain.
Can I get clarification?
Yeah.
Only when they're in line.
No. So the law is prohibiting partisan groups. So people that are either pro a certain candidate,
Correct.
Republican or Democrat,
Correct.
Libertarian, whatever it is. If you're associated with a certain group, you can't be giving
Food or water.
just anything
Or gifts or anything like that.
any type of contact with people in line when you're part of a partisan group. Now, let's explain why that's important.
Go ahead.
Right? So the purpose is that people aren't being bribed for their votes. Right? Because back in the day, we've seen the movies and all this kind of stuff where they used to throw people in vans and wagons and all this kind of stuff and say, we'll give you this much money or whatever it is. You just got to go vote for this person. Right? So it's not based off of a democratic process. It's based off of buying votes, so on and so forth. So the Georgia legislature or whatever created a law where they said, this is no longer, we don't want there to be an option of being bribed. So it happens to be water, food, whatever was the way that they, I guess, wrote it. Mm-hmm. And that's what people are focusing on is
But
like
people from the state of Georgia, like the present administration, can offer people water.
or
but
your
it just
family
cannot,
can come over.
Yeah, but it cannot be from
Partisan
a
group.
partisan group. Somebody who says, "Hey," like they give you a bottle of water, and on it says, "Please
Vote for Biden."
Yeah, this is or funded by Biden or funded by whatever Brian Kemp or something like that. Like it just has to be water, and it cannot come from someone who's endorsing somebody. Mm-hmm. So, with that being said, the first thing I heard was this is voter suppression. This is racist. Someone explain to me why. And
Yeah, that's my question. What is that? Give me the
So
negative.
I can tell you why people are arguing it. I can't tell you why is voter suppression.
okay,
So if you want to pick and choose the details, the law is now prohibiting. Now we already know it's specific to partisan groups, but it's also prohibiting transportation to and from voting polls. It's
okay.
prohibiting food and water at
What do you mean transportation? Like transportation from entity finance funded by a partisan group?
that is the law. But
Got
if
it.
you want to omit that part and just say it's saying that you no longer can transport people back and forth.
Got it.
It's not just like you said, like you've explained. It's not that people can't get water and food served
just
to
can't
them.
say somebody's name on it.
It just
endorse
no.
somebody.
It just can't be it can't be a concerted effort based off of a partisan group. The point is to keep away from people that are influencing people's votes while they're waiting in line.
Let me ask you this question. When there was the national vote a few
Right.
months ago, or the national election, Uber, Lyft, they give like, here's $10, you can go to the voting poll. So you like if you're within $10
Correct.
distance, they will pay for you to go
Sure.
and vote, and then they'll maybe drive you home or whatever.
Correct.
Is that still allowed?
I don't know, but my understanding is as long as they're not saying you can get a free ride as long as you vote for Biden.
Well,
or
I think
as long
it's
as you
simpler
vote for,
than that. I think
Yeah.
they're saying, here's a free ride endorsed by blah, blah, blah. Or
Yeah.
this has been paid for by blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Correct.
That can't happen. It can't be funded by a party.
Okay.
So if that was
So that's
funded
fine.
by
So if Uber just says, hey,
yeah, if Uber just
go.
decides that they want to do that and donate like rides to people, as long as they're not like doing it on behalf of a certain candidate, that's fine.
Okay. So
To my knowledge, and look, I'm not an expert. Kelby's not an expert. Chris is not an expert. So asterisks, we could be wrong. So don't hold us to the truth.
right.
Well, I mean, I want to get close to the truth as possible. And in my own personal research, that's what I found is the truth.
Me
that
as
they
well.
say within X amount of feet of the voting facility and or the line, you cannot be from a partisan group giving people things, giving
And I
people
understand
items.
that aspect.
And if you are from a partisan group, you can't be telling people, hey, this is the bus for X person. Get in the car. We're going to all go vote together.
And I understand that as
It
well.
has to be this neutral playing ground.
It should be just to help people vote.
Okay, so I have another question, but it's not about this. Okay, so with that being said, I want to know where the suppression is coming from because the only story I've heard is you can't get water.
That's not the only story.
That's
First of
that's
all,
the main one.
Who
others-
giving out water?
There was a lot.
And
That
how come
happened.
they didn't come to me?
That's a fact. Why didn't you bring
Yo,
your
we
own
didn't
water?
get no water in California,
Exactly.
right?
That's the question. How come
So
you
there's
didn't bring your own
there's
water?
a few other aspects to this law. So one of the aspects is they reduced the amount of time that you could do absentee voting. So they limited the amount of days out from the election that you could do absentee voting to something around like 20 days or something like that.
That's a lot of days.
Okay, I agree. Another thing is they required for you to be able to do absentee voting and vote in person, you're required to have a state ID. Now,
That's not a big deal.
that's a big deal to certain
I get
people.
it, but I don't think it's a big
And
deal.
the state also wrote into the law that they will give out free IDs for people to be able to vote.
I don't think it's a big deal because I'm black.
I don't know what that means.
Show
but-
your work.
It just means that we're like, okay, I'm first generation, but black Americans, like people who are deeply rooted in America, who are generations here, they're from here. So if you know how to get a driver's license, and black people know how to get driver's
or
license,
state ID.
state ID, you could just go get one.
Right.
Just go get one.
And the state is willing to give out free IDs for voting.
Yeah, then just get one.
And there's so many other things that you need an ID for to be able to participate in that aren't considered suppression.
I mean, I get it. I think after all the Trump claims of like they stole the election, this, that, and the third, I don't have a problem with them saying, hey, let's get a count and an understanding of every single person that voted. That way, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Show your ID, write it on a piece of paper that I was here and I voted. Cool, done. That's it. To me, that's how I see it. Maybe I'm oversimplifying it.
You're
I don't know.
racist.
Wow.
You're racist because, look, it's not possible for people that are rural, that don't have access to be able to have the same abilities.
Access
as
to
you.
what? I thought they said
be
that
able
the
to get-
state was giving it for people for free.
I mean, we're ignoring that.
So let me ask you this question. People have access to go vote, but they don't have access to get the thing that allows them to go vote?
To allow them to drink at a bar, that allows them to get onto an airplane, that allows them to buy alcohol at a grocery store, that allows them to buy cigarettes at a
I
gas
just don't
station.
understand. If you have access to get to A or to get to B, then
You have access to get to A.
yeah, you have access to get to A. So
Look, and here's the thing. Right
I
now,
don't
we
understand.
might be picking on one party more than others, and I don't want that to be the case that we are side with the other party, because I think both of us agree we think all politicians are trash.
sure, but I want to ask about this specific
Sure.
situation.
This is one.
What is the suppression and why is it affecting black people? That's
so
what I'm
here's
hearing.
the problem
You
with
can't
Georgia.
get water.
So these restrictions and this law is not something unique to Georgia
Sure, they have it in New Jersey.
and Delaware and whatever. But what is unique to Georgia is it's a swing state.
Okay. Well, it just became a swing state.
Right.
Okay.
Stacey Abrams is putting in work, and she's done an amazing job at creating Georgia to be able to be a swing state. So with that being said, clearly the Republicans, which have the stronghold as far as state legislation in Georgia, have realized that, look, we need to create laws that will, in their eyes, create a more safe space as far as voter integrity.
Okay.
So this is a
Give
reaction.
it to me though.
So
where's the suppression?
So it's I personally don't think it's suppression, but I do understand the optics as far as these laws are changing because we lost.
Who is we?
Republicans have changed these laws because we have lost the 2 Senate seats that we had. So now all of a sudden we decide to create this voter integrity law. So the optics look as if this is a reaction to us losing.
Okay, I didn't think it was a reaction to losing. I thought it was a reaction to they won, they rigged the votes. I thought it was that. And
Right.
for me,
But
I don't like those claims. So I would prefer someone say, hey, let's tighten up all these things that make voting very hard and
Sure.
all these things. Tighten it up. Okay, then everybody who can vote,
Hey,
vote.
Chris.
And then now we don't have any more questions about
He
it.
sounds like a Republican.
I don't understand. To me, I sound like I'm just trying to make sense. Like I'm not,
Hey,
you
look,
know what I'm saying? Like
You're a
trying to
reasonable
understand
person, Kelby, in an unreasonable
I don't have
environment.
experience, Chris.
No, but you're
He's a virgin.
You're a reasonable. You're a reasonable person, and to me, it sounds like a reasonable. Like when I read the details and all this kind of stuff, it sounds like a reasonable thing. Like people need to have voter ID. Don't have partisan parties. Like too close to people that are actually voting. In my mind, so they don't influence people to vote either way, right? Which I think is fair because there shouldn't be, any type of voter intimidation at the polls or whatever the case may be. There was a lot of false information as far as they're closing down the polls at 5 o'clock, which is when wasn't accurate.
Oh, that's another
They're
thing.
keeping the polls open. There was a lot of
Wait. Are they actually keeping the polls open?
7 to 7. Nothing's changed as far as the hours.
Oh, okay, got it.
There needs to be at least one absentee voter station where people can turn in their votes within, I think it's like 100 feet or 100 yards, something like that. There's like supposed to be there's enough voter like absentee of those like boxes where people could turn in their votes. So I mean, it seems like it's more about voter integrity. I understand why the optics and why the Democrats at this point
But I
are
really
running
don't,
with it.
I don't get that. I don't get the
I do
optics.
because at the end of the day, Kelby, you got to understand, politics aren't about solutions, my guy.
No, okay,
They're about
hold on.
winning.
1 second. If you make a claim that X is racist, X is suppression, you, as the person who made the claim, has to explain, not you, but the people, have to explain to me, someone who doesn't get it yet, why it's suppression.
In reality.
Why is it this? Because if it actually is, then I support you.
In reality.
Yeah.
But not in politics.
No. Here's the thing. Because the claim is outside of politics. It's in the media now. And people are reacting to that.
But Kelby, is the media searching for the truth? Or is the media searching for sensationalism?
Well, I don't know.
Have we already seen which way the media leans? We've already seen the media's already been exposed on so many different levels, whether it be Fox News, which leans right, or CNN, MSNBC that leans left, that all of them are not going to tell the truth. They're going to omit certain aspects to pad their narrative. I think that's facts. I don't think any reasonable person looks at the media and says, I could trust them 100% to give me the honest to God
I know
truth.
a lot of people that do.
No, but I'm saying reasonable people.
Sure.
There's a difference between, and the problem is that everybody gets the ability to vote without being educated, without being open-minded, with being able to be manipulated. And unfortunately, that's the way. That's why our society is the way that it is.
Well, I want to learn some more about this. So if anybody has any information about what's happening in Georgia, because so far what I've learned and what I've gathered, I'm not saying I don't see it. I just don't understand. So if somebody can explain it to me based on what I read, I can't piece 2 and 2 together to make 3. or to make 4, but I would like for someone to explain this to me.
Can I tell you why I'm more worried about it than anything?
Why?
So an aspect of this is recently the MLB, Major League Baseball. Mm-hmm. They had their All-Star game scheduled to be in Atlanta this season. Mm-hmm. And recently they put out a press release and they basically removed the All-Star game. So it's no longer going to be in Atlanta. And the reason that they're boycotting the All-Star game in Atlanta is because of this law that they're claiming is voter suppression.
Okay.
So this is
the strippers ain't gonna go to that anyway.
Yeah. So this is a corporation, right? MLB, that's deciding to now come out and take a side.
Yeah, I seen the director of Wolverine,
and it's not just them.
The same thing.
Coca-Cola as well has come out and said some things. LeBron James has come out and said some things. So now people are taking sides where private corporations and corporations in general are starting to take political stances and use their power to now dictate, use their power based off of policy that's happening. And so here's where the gray area is. Whatever the state legislature and all that kind of stuff is, in Georgia tends to be more Republican, right? Clearly now there's Democratic senators. They just won. But, you know, the people voted, and supposedly the representatives of those people are supposed to now create laws and legislate based off of those people. Well, the people voted as far as state legislation to be Republican, and these Republicans have created these laws. So now the MLB, because they don't agree with these laws, are now taking their, which any MLB game, I'm sure you can understand, is a lot of money into the city, right? There's a lot of the businesses around there gain more money. Like you said, there's a lot of entities that come out of the woodworks to come to these things, celebrities. Yeah, right?
Understand that. Chris?
Business is booming around these things. So for, this is the first, it maybe not be the first time, but.
You know what the really sad part about this is?
But
a lot of black people and businesses in Atlanta.
Especially, right? It's
so
the people that they're saying.
It's like, damn, that kind of sucks for them.
The people that they're saying is being oppressed, they're now taking actual dollars out of these people's pockets.
It's real,
and that is where it's like, okay, now we're creating a precedent where
feed or starve,
or more importantly,
do as we tell you, or
it's like, and it's no, I guess, secret that the Democrats are against this bill, right? And already with the precedent of the NBA kind of doing things along the party lines of Democrats, and now the MLB doing things along the lines of the Democrats, it's kind of like, all right, well, are these companies free entities, or are they extensions of the Democratic Party, which is where, you know, people that are conservative are starting to freak out and be like, you know, what is happening that, you know, these entities are choosing to take part as a part of policy versus, you know, just be business capitalists that they are, which is, you know, to me, hey, they have the right to do whatever it is. We are kind of coming to that crossing roads of, you know, power, people that have had power, and, you know, what can happen from giving people this much power.
Well, somebody come on the show and explain to me why this is suppression, why all these things are happening.
Yeah, well, I just need clarification as well.
Yeah, because I don't want to make a choice as to what to believe right now, because I get there's a lot of anger and hostility. However, based off of what I read, I just don't get how it correlates with, like, oh, this affects black people, or this is racist, or this is suppression. I don't piece it together. So somebody has to explain to me who gets it more. But before we go, and we don't have to say a lot about this, but Bernie Sanders has been on a tear with this, number one, minimum wage thing, and number two, companies that are not paying federal tax. And makes me suspicious. It makes me suspicious. Why now? Bernie's been around for a long time. Why now? What are we missing? Now I have an idea. I have a narrative.
Speak your idea.
But I'm gonna take it somewhere else. Before I had that thought, I said, well, what does the federal government do for people? And when I looked it up, it said Social Security, large medical programs such as Medicaid, Medicare, infrastructure, and defense.
Right.
That is what your dollars are doing.
Allegedly.
So that is what they say your dollars are doing. Okay, now, and I know Allegedly. Joe Biden wants to put out infrastructure package where 7% goes to infrastructure and then the rest goes to what he calls human capital. Don't know what that means. But Bernie Sanders has been on this. If you bought a pair of Air Force Ones, didn't even know he knew what an Air Force One was. But he said if you bought a pair of Air Force Ones for $120, you've paid more in federal tax than the entire company has. And so I said, well, as a person who owns a company, well, why do I have to give the federal government my money? Especially because a company doesn't stand apart. Before I finish that statement, I do understand what a corporation does, and they do stand alone as an entity.
Right.
Right? But a company, in general, is nothing but a collective group of people. That's all it is. It is a collective group of people who are all moving in the same direction, trying to reach the same goal. So if the federal government is getting their money from the people that work at these organizations,
including the people that own those organizations,
what's the point of double taxation? That's my question. Now,
well, Bernie Sanders
I also hold on one
people.
second. The reason why I bring that up and I specifically say federal tax is because these places are paying property tax, they're paying payroll tax, they're paying many taxes.
Correct.
So he is saying specifically, hey, the federal government has not received your money and it's making life worse on you. But if the company is paying property tax, they're paying payroll tax, they're paying all these taxes that
as well
affect
as their salaries.
They're paying taxes on their salary. So
no. They're also paying people's salaries. They're creating jobs.
Yes, right.
Okay.
So with that being said, it seems like the taxes that are going towards where these organizations are and their multiple locations, it is feeding those cities, those states, those people. The federal government doesn't do a lot for businesses. They do more things for people and less for businesses. So why does an entity have to pay that tax? I'm not saying he's wrong, but I'm questioning it. Go ahead.
Look, my idea of Bernie Sanders is much different than I think most of the public's.
Great guy.
I think he's a grifter. Yeah. And what I mean by that is this dude has never held a job in the public sector ever in his life, yet is a multimillionaire. Mm-hmm. So that means that he has, through being a public servant, has become a multimillionaire. So use those same capitalistic properties that he so fights against, and then decides that he wants to rail against them and say capitalism is bad. We need to, there should be no reason why people are a billionaire. Before it was, nobody could be a millionaire till he became a millionaire. Then it became a billionaire. So yeah. I don't think that Bernie Sanders is a person. I think he understands that if I fight for
the little guy,
which needs to be fought for, but in a way that's disingenuous, which I think he is, he has his niche in society.
I want to say one thing before people shoot me down. I understand with stimulus packages and things like that, PPP, the federal government has provided aid to businesses. However, I think that the federal government owes businesses more than businesses owe the federal government. I say that because should a business be spawned and jobs be created, that is automatic taxes that will be paid to the federal government, no matter what.
I think that the problem becomes is when the federal government allows for businesses that or corporations that do things that are illegal or risky, and then saves them. That's the problem, right? So we could talk about what happened with the bailing out the banks with the mortgage things, which I think is definitely something where is a tricky situation, man. These guys decided to do things that they knew weren't
gonna work.
And then clearly because they're in a position that society would I mean, everybody would have lost everything. They're able to get bailed out. So they're too big to fail type of situation. So in that situation, obviously, I understand why people are against that. And for me personally, I think that, the fact that I think that everybody that was part of those situations should have been fired and they should have gotten all new people. And, people shouldn't benefit off of people's destruction. You know what I mean? Especially if they created it. But when it comes to what you just asked, as far as like, I don't know necessarily if the government owes more to business than business owes the government.
I feel like they do.
What I think is that people need to understand the value of business. Sure. Because jobs are never created by the government. Government doesn't create anything because the government only makes money through you and I.
Sure.
They don't create a product that makes money.
Sure.
They tax people who are creating things, which is why they have the money that there is. So government doesn't create anything. They take. That's the only thing they could do. The only way the government can make more money is by taxing more.
Sure.
So the value of business, with these politicians coming out and devaluing business because they feel like people get too rich. They talk about the top, not even 1%. Excuse me. They're talking about the top 0.01%.
But they hoard the wealth, Arsenio.
But they're also creating the most jobs, and they're the reason why any of us have jobs.
Yeah, it's true. I just think that the narrative of because they're quote unquote hoarding wealth, we are losing, and I don't believe that. Look, if you look at COVID, for example, trillions of dollars printed out, done deal. But then to build the infrastructure plan where only 7% of the budget goes to infrastructure, we must raise taxes. Well, wait a second. You just printed out a bunch of money out of nowhere, out of thin air to quote unquote help people. And then immediately after, it's this random plan to fix the infrastructure because we're 13th in the world in infrastructure. And then you got to raise our taxes. The two don't correlate with me. I just don't understand how we are under this quote unquote fiat currency and you could print it whenever you want. But then when it's something you want, ain't nobody asked for this. We don't need better infrastructure in a year after the worst year people have had in 15 years. We don't need that right now. So to raise people's taxes when everybody is having a tough time, not everybody, a lot of people. I understand a lot of people made money during COVID, but to do that immediately after 3 weeks after people are getting stimulus checks, I think is off. I think it's weird. I think it's off. It makes no sense. But okay.
Well, to play devil's advocate, it's not supposedly everybody's taxes that are going up. It's only people that make $400,000 or more.
For the infrastructure plan?
Right. So
is that correct?
Look,
I don't believe that.
What is the truth and what is not the truth is, obviously we need to do more research, but at least the narrative is from the administration is that if you make less than 400,000, you are not your taxes aren't going to go up.
Well, you might as well just say I think
however,
it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird.
The
Imagine
problem
telling
is-
Elon Musk, like, hey, yo, you can't start Tesla because your goals are just too big. You can't have that much money. Not allowed.
Right, and obviously you're coming from the place of a business owner and an entrepreneur and all this kind of stuff. And you know, I have that same mentality, so I understand what you're stating. I do think we can't I don't think we can ignore the fact that we could definitely be more efficient on multiple aspects. The government could be more efficient. Businesses could be more efficient. Capitalism could be more efficient.
Sure.
And if things were more efficient, I think people's lives will not just a little bit increase, but significantly become better, right? And I think that the problem is when these narratives are spoken to, it's always the extremes that are being spoken about. It's never really coming to a solution. It's about how could we paint out a certain person as the villain. So one side wants to say the billionaires are the villain. The other side wants to say, the poor and the lazy and the illegal immigrants and all this kind of stuff are the villain, right? Instead of being like, look, one of the reasons why healthcare isn't affordable for everybody has to do with, excuse me, so much waste in the healthcare system overall, which is a solution that could actually be attacked if both sides got on the same page and was like, hospitals, you have to not waste as much of money as you do through healthcare costs, and insurance companies, you have to not waste as much money as you can, become more efficient, so that healthcare would be cheaper for everybody to have access to. But that's not what they were talking about. They'd rather demonize one side or the other because that gets more clicks. You could raise more money on that platform versus actually coming to a solution.
Well, yeah, it's funky season out here. Maybe we'll have a call next week with somebody that can talk to us about
I'm
these
struggling.
things.
Sorry.
But life is good. All good. All right. That's it for the podcast. It's a good conversation. We went all over the place, but we'll be back in a week. So long.